No matter how much
Sign
damage
overload.
you can
That's
throw
right,
out,
yeah.
Oh
it's probably
boy,
not
this
going
is
to
gonna
be
be
enough.
spicy.
Well, we've already seen what the first steps
stuff.
that these players are going to be bringing
Countdown.
to the stage. For Inzhagi, this is a much more familiar deck. It's of course going to be Herald Claymore.
Absolutely, Harold Claymore, we've seen it multiple
Parametric.
times today already. Even
Interesting.
the last players, this game has been out for 2 years, so
Alright, here we
actually
go.
really
I bet
locked into the
Ezreal
competitive mindset.
doesn't matter.
I think that's an important quality to have as a player. The moment you start
Damn,
playing, you
Inzhagi's
already
heart
have
rate.
that
How did you miss
competitive
that?
feel to you. You want to be
What?
able to reach
I
greater
thought I
heights, you wanna
got
be able
it.
to chase for more success. And I think
I
that's a very
blame
important
both.
mindset
Own
and energy to have. But before we really get into the nitty-gritty of this game, there's a QR code on the left side of
who are
the
we trying to
screen.
replace
So make
next?
sure you guys scan that so that you
there
can
a Frost
offer us
mage?
feedback
Can you hover
about
over
things
the
we
Frost
can improve
unit?
for this tournament and
Hover over the
future
Frost
events.
crate on the left.
Absolutely, your
Is there a
feedback
Frost
is
mage?
super duper helpful for letting us know what we're doing right and possibly what we'd like
Just
to improve
hover
on
over
in
your
the
trace
future.
on the
But out of
left
way,
and see if there's
onto
a
the
Frost.
game.
Like hover over Frost. Is there a
So
Frost
we've
mage?
got Minty with
Okay, here we
his
go.
Signora
There's
Manifestation
not.
Cube deck. Not too sure if this one has a name just yet.
There's no Frost
And then we have
mage.
Inzhagi with
It's
Herald
fine.
Claymore on the bottom side. The first thing that sticks out to me is the fact that the Manifestation Signora deck reminds me a lot of the old Yelan OTK, replacing Ice Cube with
Oh
Pro
my
Yelan.
god, there's
But I get the
another
feeling
high
that the
roll.
gameplay style is
Dude,
notably
double
different.
Junior
yes,
Zard
absolutely.
into
Of course,
Timaeus. What is
having,
this?
Hydro with Signora is going to be able to have freeze control over the match, but now we have Cryo Cube, who very interestingly, it has the idea of like trying to normal
It's
attack.
gonna
but really what
happen
they do is
again?
they
I
just
can't
spam
believe
skill
it.
most of the time, and then from there you get enough cryo application that your other
So
character
discard
able to take
fast
advantage of it, but I don't
swap,
think it's going to work out that way for Minty. Of course,
Herald
with Thundering
skill,
Manifestation,
I
who's
guess.
going to be the only reactor
Sure.
until Signora flips
Then
over
round,
to the
yeah.
Crimson Witch of Embers.
And then she
It'll
will become
explain.
quite a threat as well. We've already seen that Signora as a character has gained a little bit more popularity now that there's more aggression possible in the meta overall.
Make sure to hold on to
so
the
that
Cassian
is
in
nice
case you
to
find a
see.
Pearl Emblem later.
Herald Claymore is a much more familiar one. Inzhagi going to have first turn priority and already actually getting a really nice
Oh,
ramp set
okay.
up with a double Dunya
Hold
Zard
up,
into
never
Lyman
mind.
and
Okay, just
Timaeus.
tune the
Absolutely.
second
This is gonna put
Timaeus
Inzaghi in
then.
a pretty nice
Oh no, wait, you
advantage
don't, you
here.
don't, you don't, you
He
don't.
has the
You
option
played
to
second
go
Timaeus
for
next
possibly a
round.
Skill. If not, he can just drop the other
ooh.
Timaeus, get out the rest of the artifacts.
Yeah,
like
just
Gilded
tune.
Dreams
Yeah,
that
there you
we've
go.
seen many times earlier
Skill,
today,
pass.
and he'll be able to
Yup.
use that super effectively into the next
Angels
two
is
turns.
fine.
The question now for
Yeah.
Inzaghi
Rise.
is how
Run, Rise.
aggressively he wants
Run,
to
Rise.
start things off. And it does look like
Just
he
roll.
will go for
Roll.
a skill. There is
Just
the
roll.
option
Roll,
sometimes
roll,
of going
fast.
for a float here, but
I
because
swear.
he's already been so efficient with the way of having
Aside
double Dunya
Kevin
Zard,
Z
he's actually able
doesn't care
to
about TCG
maintain
anymore,
3
it's
dice
mad.
even after attacking to
Whatever.
get to live.
Alright.
Absolutely. Looks like
Okay,
he's
so
feeling
Minty,
that he
yeah,
had
and
the
a skill and a
cryo
live and
open
pass.
because
Good.
that where they're able to drop in another
Good
normal
stuff,
attack and also
yeah.
scoop the rest of the dice into Lyman, which looks like that's what they're trying to get. Just get a little bit of chip damage out there, while you can't really do anything else for the moment.
Speaking
Looks
of
like Minty going to be able to match here. Does end turn with Lyman as well as White Glove too. So a good amount of ramp on their side, just not quite as much
Speaking of
as
double
Inzaghi,
cryo,
who will be looking to try and aim for high damage round 3.
where
We'll
is
see whether
it?
Minty is able to play
Yeah,
aggressively
Senor
enough to
TM
make
cryo
sure that
deck.
doesn't affect
Yeah,
him.
we got that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with all those damage boosting cards, especially
And,
the White
we
Glove
have
and the Fisherman
Crab.
now having Call for Cleanup. You can
Um,
see that as the first card.
oh,
in
we-
Minty's
do we
hand.
have it?
Should be able. Ooh, even
No, we
Cryo
don't.
Resonance. You can get a bonus 3 damage
Yeah, we
right
don't.
now.
Okay.
If Minty so desires, of course, will not be relevant until later when characters are
fine.
more in lethal range.
So Inzaghi going to have turn priority going into round number 2. And we can see in their hand they do actually have a few tools, including a Wolf's Gravestone, which they were able to pull out pretty early on. Not to mention having a free Gilded because of Timaeus, as well as Ancient Courtyard. Means there's a lot of possible equips that could come out this round.
Absolutely, yeah. With the Ancient
Oh,
Courtyard, I
Minty's
do
heart
wonder if
rate's
Inzaghi
increasing.
is going to try and jump it a little bit and get that.
Alright, so I mean, so
Claymore out.
far,
Golden
good
Shirt, not what you
start
wanna
for
see.
Minty.
Now, the thing that you mentioned earlier
Burst.
that was interesting, right, about Inzaghi is the parametric transformer.
But
So
then
you know what the
again,
parametric
there's
transformer
curse
does
for
is that it
Inzhagi.
is a 2-cost unaligned dice action card, and what it does is that goes into your support zone. Every time you do
And
at
then you
least 3
swap
elemental reactions
TM,
or
get
elemental
TM
skills,
burst.
you gain stats.
After
Once you get 3,
TM
you
burst,
generate 3 random
go
dice.
Signora,
And of course,
and yeah.
Inzaghi being,
Basic stuff.
Combo being his favorite archetype, this is the ultimate combo card. But it's
Ooh,
interesting that it's played in this deck
parametric,
because
okay.
Sayu and Herald have a bit of an odd interaction because prepare skills sometimes don't work out with parametric transformer.
Yeah, it can be kind of an awkward
Sure.
interaction where you won't get stacks depending on certain circumstances. And that is the reason as well why we don't really see parametric, but we do see the burst coming out from the cryo cube here, and that will officially pop Herald
Oh,
revive.
wait, there's
And Herald
gamblers
is
for
already
Minty.
equipped, so that means
Possible
Curse of the Epic instantly applied onto
fast
Minty's
swap.
side.
Right?
And that is quite big. It's a good thing that Inzagi is
fast swap
equip that
NA?
early because last turn they had the option of just not
Yeah, fast swap
shoving it
NA.
into putting their dice somewhere else, but they're gonna
Because you
stick
have
with
the
that.
cleanup
Climax
anyways,
is
you
holding
just
it down.
need
It's
to
sort of a
NA.
revive 1v1, right? We haven't seen Minty or Inzagi budge from these two monsters.
Yeah, that is interesting. But
come on,
kind of
Minty, you can do it.
expected
Fast swap
nowadays
NA.
because the game state has accelerated.
Fast swap
and we're
NA
seeing a lot more
gamblers.
aggressive decks
Yeah,
and gameplay
he saw it.
overall.
Of
It
course
makes
he
it
saw
very
it.
difficult for you to decide.
I
to
mean,
go
you're playing
over to
aggro
your
deck. Playing
carries. I
aggro deck
think
is
these decks
easy.
have slightly less worry because both sides do have double
I know
carry.
this is
And we can see Minty already setting up with the gamblers.
Okay, they're
even the
done.
White glove.
Hosting,
Gonna do exactly
wait.
4
Or paid
damage.
TFT, I
Take
mean.
out Herald straight
go.
away.
Yeah, that is a pretty good move, honestly. Seeing
Sure,
that's
that Minty not
flexible.
only is holding their cube revive, but use the
Yeah, you
ability
didn't have to use
of
one extra
the
die.
Thundering Manifestation
Yeah,
to
you use
snipe
one
off
less
Herald
dice, yeah.
immediately. That is quite relevant. Now, there is only high
you have to go
application on
Chong here.
Cryo Cube. Sayu and
You always
Chong
go
are
Chong
going to have
here.
to struggle or
What
hope
the
that
fuck
it
is
is
gonna
possible
go?
to Cryo Cube at
You
some
have
point
wires,
for
Gilded
reasons.
skill.
Yeah, this is actually a
Yeah,
Guys,
I
go.
would need
Yeah, you
more.
always go
because
Chong, yeah.
only one hydro
Yeah, you get 3
application
dice
now
here, you can
exists
get
on their
2
side
dice
of the
from
board, and
Gilded,
that is
2
on the
dice from
Cryo
Wire.
Cube, who now that he is bursted,
So you
basically
can-
never
there's
needs
a lot
to
of things you
become
can do.
active ever again.
You get
and
free
it really
action
messes
with
with
Wolf
the win
You can
condition
skill
for Herald
swap, skill
Claymore.
skill.
Absolutely, but don't
With,
count Inzagi
Sayu.
out. It will probably coming
It's
in the
very
next
strong.
turn, but they still have that Wolf's Gravestone. As for when they equip it, it'll probably have
Oh,
to be
yeah,
next, so
hold
they don't
on.
have other cards like the Golden House or
Let me
you know,
adjust.
they want to save that Ancient Courtyard Arcane card for Gilded
There you go.
equips if they can help it.
Why are you even
Already
thinking
seen how
about
effective
this?
that can
Are you
be,
thinking about
getting a free
swapping
Gilded.
ones?
Nowadays,
Maybe
especially,
swapping, thinking
has a
about
lot
like
of
swap
value
stalling
since
as well.
Liar Song
Well,
did recently
Okay.
get nerfed, so it's not
Okay.
quite as easy to
don't
start
hate
Or
it.
maybe you want to
together
make
for
Sayu skill
big hyper
3
magic
times.
trends anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa.
You didn't know the change to a Liar
Whoa.
Song is that you need
That's
to play it at the start of the turn.
Three-
It'll give you
three
-2
damage
dice,
skills?
just like the original. But if you've already played
Herald
the
Talent
it'll only
theoretically
be
should do
-1.
very
And
well
of course,
into
you know,
this.
Gilded Dreams is a
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
Herald
plus
Talent
card.
is
So
really
if you want to
strong
actually
in
get
this
a
deck.
dice benefit, you need to make sure you
Really,
subtract
really strong.
as much cost away from
Wait,
it
what
as you can.
are we
It
doing?
looks like they
Exactly.
will go
Inzagi?
ahead
You go
and play
ahead,
Gilded
real?
for free
What
with
is
the
he
main
going
stack.
for?
Even use
Okay.
Ancient Courtyard, most likely.
You
three,
can
five.
NA, you
Wolves
can
with
NA a
Gravestone.
5 HP
Now, it
unit.
may be a little early
They also
to
have
go for this
Gambler.
since none of the characters on Minty's side are below that threshold.
Now you can't-
just
now-
yet.
now Minty
Considering
can't
that
skill,
Herald has
right?
already gone
Minty
down,
can't skill here
Inzagi
because
doesn't
he
need
can't
to
swap
up
off.
the aggression or risk just kind of being
You can't
stomped
swap
under
off,
heel.
you're in a very bad
Yeah,
spot.
absolutely. Wolf's Gravestone is one of those cards. I
So
would say
Minty
that
has to
you can
skill.
actually equip it early because number one, damage is damage. And it
You
has
have no
to steer
choice.
off your
Well,
opponent, because
Fuki
at any
was
point if they
always
decide to
like-
use something that will cause
Yeah.
physical
Physical
the
Just go
Here
for
we
it.
go.
going to happen right
Skill.
now, but it's going to make it so that they are scared away from ever taking those moves.
So far, definitely seems like the players are sizing each other up quite well. And despite his humbleness
But man,
in the interview
this-
earlier,
the
it does seem
curse
like
is so
Minty
annoying.
putting up a
Swap?
pretty
Really?
strong fight
This is
against
so
a player that
Okay.
is quite heavily respected. Going to go ahead and switch over to Signora as
Summon
well.
NA?
To take that follow-up hit
Signora
to make
NA?
sure that neither
Why
did
player
Bond
of
falls
Life
below
trigger in that
Wolf's
animation?
Gravestone
Did I not
threshold
see
just
that?
yet.
Yeah, Minty is very carefully
No.
just playing with
Signora
Swap.
picked three
Oh,
and then
swap
took
stalling.
Climax.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
really
swap
nice
back
actually
to
because
what now?
Inzagi is going to do a
What do you do
another
now?
skill most likely, and then the other manifestation should just be a-okay to survive into the next phase.
You missed
And
3
if they're
damage.
able to
it's
survive
going
into the
to
next
take 4.
phase, it should be pretty good for
to do
Minty
this. It'd be
because
annoying.
they will be able to take advantage
You
of the
can
cryo
NA
application
here.
that comes out from this
And
cryo
then
cube
what?
summon, and they will be able
Liar
to refresh
burst.
that lightning rod as well. So another big hit at the start of the next round to
NA
prevent
burst.
Inzagi from
Yeah.
being
Sure,
able
actually
to
sounds
take
great.
advantage
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the Wolf's Gravestone.
Yeah, you can see Inzagi even goes just for a normal attack, not wanting to waste any of the extra resources they have available to them, like
Sure.
the Golden Troops Reward. Technically, you could have tuned it, but you know, it's
Like
going to be a lot
first,
nicer for
walk
Chongyun
off,
because
I
Chongyun at some
guess?
point will have to carry the game because
Oh.
Chongyun
Yeah.
cannot last forever.
Okay.
The Cryo Summon is going to come down. However,
thought they would use
recheck
first.
which
2
character is
damage.
targeting right now, 'cause it
Signora
doesn't have
will
switch
fall
mechanic,
to
yes.
5
Sayu's already
HP.
starting to
Go to
lose a
Sig,
good
yeah.
amount of HP.
Inzaghi does
Liar
still have Liar
Bird.
Song. I was going to ask
No, now you feel more
does
inclined
he
to
play
skill
this
to
to
play,
get one
but
more
you
action
actually
out?
wanna
But
play?
it seems like Inzaghi
You wanna
already
skill?
answered
Like the
that
healing, the
question
healing
for
is
me.
very,
This
very.
does
You should
mean
skill. You should
giving
skill.
up
Skill's
turn
great. Skill's
priority
great.
to Minty.
Skill's great.
Yeah,
It works
Skill?
no matter.
because
Oh, yeah.
Minty is not playing the freeze version of this deck.
That's it.
I do
I
wonder
would
if
give
Yeah,
it
there
it
you go.
looks like they're gonna go for the skill. I wonder if they would
Oh,
ever go
wait.
the burst, which gives
It
you
comes
some
down to,
healing
does
in the
Inzaghi
anti,
run
because
Lotus?
someone did that
That's all I
earlier
wanna know.
today,
Oh.
and it was able to
I
just make
think
sure
it
those
does.
breakpoints weren't
Oh,
too crazy.
okay.
Knockout!
That does hurt a lot. I'm pretty sure
Go
Minty
back
did
in
calculate
head,
that.
running
Senora,
head.
one of the reasons she was very popular a little
But
while
I guess
back
Chong is
was because of the
dead
fact that
this
she had this revive mechanic. Obviously, you don't want to lose it too early.
Yeah,
No,
I
if
don't know
you
why
let
he's
the
not.
still want
first
to
hit
maintain
hit
the
you,
pressure.
then
I don't know what's gonna happen.
He does not. He does not.
But since there's a
I
summon
think
on
you
Minty
want
I forgot to join the
already,
raffle.
Arguably, you want to
Minty is
save
Oh,
the Lotus
whatever,
for
whatever,
next
whatever.
season.
Manifestation is
Whoa,
most likely going
really?
to be the main carry.
Absolutely. Should be
Swap
able to get at least
Chongyun?
one melt of
Okay.
but you let
when
them
she
get
gets
there.
revived.
Like,
Wait,
Lotus
Chongyun's
is
dead.
fine.
So, Inzaghi literally has to break
Cryo,
Senora's out of the game. The revitalization and
2
to carry
plus
the end game.
2
I
plus
think it's definitely
2,
possible thanks to
It was still
Julian's
pop
revive. They didn't
six,
let's just
so-
melt.
But because Minty
And
did
then
end up
cryo
having
rest.
stalling to
I
take
do
damage
it.
and make
Yes, I'm
sure
tight.
6
that
damage,
Wolf's Gravestone
yeah.
wouldn't get 3
If you were going to
kills.
Lotus,
Okay.
you
Meant
know
that his
you do it.
characters did end up eating quite a lot of damage
This is
there.
pretty
So
annoying.
Ooh.
we
Unless
see
Minty
Minty gets
don't
fast
fire.
swap.
even up
Hell
quite a
yeah.
lot here, and you can tell that the players
Ah,
are starting
okay.
to get more
Don't
and
do
more
that.
stressed
Oh,
out.
this
Inzaghi's
sucks.
Don't do
heart
that.
rate
Does Inzaghi
is
run
near
Lotus? That's what I want to know.
150.
No, he
Oh,
does
this
not.
sucks.
No. You
I
probably
think
broke
Inzaghi
it.
just
Love
wins.
you.
See, he's shaking the head a little bit.
No
Something
cryo
You
woven?
wanna try? You want to limit?
Here we go.
Oh my god, this
what
hand
you want
sucks.
is you don't
He's
want to
praying.
give Inzaghi.
No white.
Good
Oh wait,
action.
but there's cryo red.
That is
we
like
could
letting him go
stack
to
on cryo
Sayu.
red. How much damage does that do? So
But
first
can you
off,
have it not
Senora does 2
die?
damage, and then we do a melt, so that's also
Is that
another 2
even-
damage. Add cryo res, that's 6.
Yeah, you don't even need the white
Okay, he
glove.
got
Inzaghi
Liar.
is enough to take out
Again.
Chongyun. Inzaghi
Liar
praying,
fishes his
he's
hand.
hoping
Again.
that Minty doesn't have
He
damage
gets 2 dies.
to lead
Yeah,
on
3
Chongyun
plus
here
2.
because he will,
And then he's
will
gamblers.
still
I think
need
he
a
has too much
second
time.
character
I think
in
so.
order
Yeah,
to
Inzaghi
go
wins.
up against all 3
Unlucky.
characters still alive on Minty's
Unlucky for
side.
Minty.
So this is kind of an unfortunate situation
Man.
for him.
Yeah, Minty's just
No
recalculating,
woven,
making
no
sure that
gamblers,
cryo res
I mean,
nothing like
Inzaghi has
that.
all the
I think
dice
they
in the
should
world.
be
You
clear.
could
They
play
just also
strategize,
for
hope for
gambling.
We should run
something.
plan.
Like,
So the chance
potentially
that
fast
they can
swap.
strategize in the middle of their hand is pretty
Plan?
unlikely.
Yeah.
Then
clams,
skill.
It's possible.
I don't know.
though.
It
We've
works with
already
Yeah.
seen
Sayu
players
first.
have
Okay, let's see it.
pretty
Okay.
big
Let's see it.
Oh, it works with
numbers,
Herald.
like he's gonna get it this
Oh.
time.
Okay,
Not
Clam
a
on
white
Herald
glove,
is
though, so
insane.
that should be
You
helpful
gain
to
4
clear
HP,
some
you
break
gain 2
points,
stacks.
especially
Like,
since if
oh,
Minty does go
yeah.
for a
OP.
cryo
Still
skill
no
here,
fast swap,
basically
unlucky.
trade Chongyun for Signora, it would actually be
I really want to play
completely
Clam on a revive
gone
pick,
for
or like the
Inzaghi,
Herald or
because
Vector.
yeah.
Because
Sayu has quite a lot
They
of
actually
solo
just
carry potential,
give it
especially
back
in a
so
1v2
easily.
situation.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Inzaghi just
already
wins,
pre-equipped
right? Herald
with all
Talent
the
too.
Yeah.
artifacts
dude.
and
Yeah.
everything
Inzaghi
you
just
could ask
wins
for. It's
because
just a
Herald
question
Talent is
if
too
Minty
strong.
can dish out that amount of damage. to
So
take it, right?
annoying.
Because
And
the
yeah,
thing
gamblers
about the
here.
organization having that
What even
lightning
is the
rod
2 plus
changing your
food in
skill,
Minty's hand?
you
What?
know, to do 4
My mind's
damage,
blanking.
that's going to be very relevant, right? You know,
Hey,
Sayu only being at
what
7
else?
HP.
Hey,
So
oh,
if you
right,
did it
right,
right now,
right.
Sayu does not have lightning rod. You know, yeah, it may happen because
Go
Chongyun's about to
station.
go down, but here we go. Let's see. Thunder
And
Man's
Inzaghi be like,
Woven
huh?
time.
Afterwards,
That's a
Cryo
really
Cube
bad
is
time to
3
Woven
as
though.
well,
Just
plus
go,
the
commit to
superconductor.
something.
I think you should be able to make it.
What
But
do you
you'll
think?
be
Like,
on the
go
hair,
station,
basically the hair end of your
skill.
HP decks.
into
It
swap.
would actually end up
That's
quite
nothing.
close,
He has to be
despite
soft
Minty's
afterwards.
impressive play earlier. Of
I think he's
taking
supposed to
out
go
Herald
TM.
very
You have to go
early
TM.
on.
That's the
You
only
could have
option.
discarded that. I don't know. What is he doing?
That extra damage as well.
You could go
That's why you do see
station
the
and then
white glove being
go-
played
Go
again,
take.
as he realizes
well,
he's gonna
it's
need
never
all he can
dead.
get to make
Never
sure
dead.
that he can claim
This is
victory in
always
game number
bad.
1.
This is just nothing.
Yep, Inzaghi didn't even react to the cryo res. He just
And this
knew,
makes
you know,
it too
if this is
easy
gonna
for
take this
Inzaghi
long,
now.
Minty probably had
This
yep,
literally
shucks,
loses to
oof,
nothing.
really rough to work with, but they still have a
No,
Inzaghi
good
doesn't
you
have
need gamblers.
to
You need a
have
dice.
countdown
You
to
don't
the
always
ship
have
on
to
the
do-
card with the 3 costs.
Okay,
They
skill,
could
skill
throw it
would
out there,
win
but is it
against
incredibly
everything
risky risky move
Okay,
because
when-
from there you're only gonna have
when-
5
Inzagi has no
seconds.
reason to think here. There's no reason to think
what
about
Inzagi
anything.
needs
here.
to do is
Like,
actually
just go.
leverage the dice advantage, and I think that's exactly what he's doing by going for Liar Song first. As you mentioned earlier, the way this card has been changed is that if you play it as the first
Then
action
just play
card
everything.
in your
Get
round,
info.
you
So
get the
Gilded,
original
right?
Liar Song
Jumper,
instead of just
GG.
discounting by
Okay, go next.
Therefore, it's very important for that to start off with.
Why do you have the thing?
And
Just
yes,
just
he
just
Did he
could
break his
go
arm?
for a
What?
countdown,
Play the
but it would mean that
Gamble,
he's
you
like
break his
going
arm.
to
Why
kill
have
it,
his
and I think just
arm?
going for the hits will give him more of a chance.
Guess I
to
just
pressure
drops that
Minty
and then
down.
doesn't
Yeah,
elaborate.
absolutely, I agree. Because as long as
What?
Sayu can chain together multiple
The
normal
fuck
attacks,
happened
or
to his
just
hand?
the skill,
Did
right?
you not
because
see?
it's also going to hit multiple times.
No,
should
I
be
didn't-
enough for
I
Inzhagi
didn't pay
to take
attention. I
the
was
game. Right now
playing-
they have Gilded Dreams. They
Thank
should be
you.
able to
I was
generate a
playing
few more
D-D.
dice, and then from there,
Oh,
if
his
they
left
get
arm
lucky,
broken.
they
He's
actually
wearing
no,
a
you
cast.
can't do anything to draw out right now.
Oh,
No elemental
shit.
reactions
Seriously?
from
Wow.
that, but Gambler
He was
should be
trying
able
P-
to
he
give you
was
a little
trying
bit of dice
PC to
advantage. Let's see here.
That just
Unfortunately,
happens
no
when
Boar
you
Princess.
try hard
If you
against
had
you
Boar
too
Princess,
much.
you definitely
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
replace
Unlucky.
Gilded now with Gamblers because
Fucking-
you
Shows
are most
dedication.
likely going to be able to get a kill, maybe even two
Just
if
to
Minty
the
really
Gamblers
wants to
go.
keep
Why do you have the
Manifestation
thing if
alive.
you don't run Lotus? There's
Yeah,
no
most
reason to
definitely. I
think.
don't imagine
Lotus.
if as a Lotus
Thinking
in
Why
of
is he taking it?
countdowning so he can get
Wolf's Gravestone fact is still active even through barriers and shields. It's still going
Is
to
countdowning
shoot
even
through
okay,
and get
relevant
that
here?
fucking
They have
damage.
7 billion
Countdown-
dice.
Countdown
Yeah, I
literally
absolutely
doesn't go
think you do
positive.
just
Like you
replace
double
Gamblers.
board
You
with
even
like
get it for
infinite
free
skill
because you do
countdown
still
go
have that
positive
one
in
stack on Timaeus.
Okay, if you really wanna
Countdown,
calculate
I
how
don't
much
really think
dice you need
there's
to
too
kill the
much in the
opponent
deck
through
that could really
everything.
save Inzagi right
Sure.
now.
3 actions
Fine,
already
it's
enough
really
to buy
low
quite a
Three
bit.
Minty's
actions,
side of the
yeah.
board is in terms of HP. I
And
think
you can
just
count down
whacking on
plus
Sayu
3
is
actions, you
actually
really
the way to
don't
go.
You kill them in 4
Yeah,
hits.
it is also
and
possible
each
that
side skill is
Inzagi
2
is
hits,
considering
right?
the fact that
A
Lightning
Lotus
Rod will be
can
applied on
save them
Sayu
for
once
one
they
more
do
hit.
an elemental skill.
Whatever,
So, you know, it
man.
is a bit,
Niggas
it
five
is a
hit.
bit of a
And
rough
Inzagi-
scenario. You know, you have to deal with all of these extra damage factors.
You didn't hit
He
anything,
still
just
has
go
White
now.
Glove in play, and Inzagi knows that, so
Skill,
it's very
skill,
rough.
skill. Whatever, man.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, that is
Is
true.
he actually not running
Sayu
low?
attacks here, lethal signal.
Okay,
That's the only thing I can
You
see him
lose.
doing.
You-
either attack on manifestation
You
or
lose.
cube,
Come on, man.
which is gonna take Sayu down.
You lose
to
if you
like
do
4 or 3
anything except for
HP,
just Gamblers
and then
go.
another attack with reaction
At
would
this
be enough
point.
to take her out. So I
You
guess
have to
he
just
is
go.
looking in the deck for something that could give him
You
at
don't-
least
you
1
don't
or 2
lose.
more
You don't
HP
lose.
to
Yeah.
survive that hit.
You
Alright,
can
see
lose.
the skill come out.
Now you
There we go,
You can
Gambler's
bet them.
triggers, and I believe we'll see the Lightning Rod as well. I wonder if at any point, just a little less on dice,
I don't
Inzagi
think
could
you
implore a
could have
strategy,
lost
but at
it
this
on
rate,
it.
if you haven't drawn anything
You
off
always
of that
get
countdown,
2
you're
kills.
probably not
I don't know what he
okay
was
with
digging
it.
for as well. I just can't, like,
Yeah, but
is there
if
anything that actually
Inzagi
matters here?
doesn't do
It's-
that,
no,
then
there's
yeah,
nothing that
one
matters.
attack
There's a bunch of
each
dice.
from manifestation and cryo.
You already
Really
use
have
double.
one
You already
extra
use
dice.
double
to
life.
finish
It's
her
basically
off.
impossible to go dice
So-
positive at this point.
Unfortunately,
You need double
he
dwarf
might
with,
still
like,
have to go for it.
2 more
Yeah, most
hearts.
I mean, Minty can't
Especially
do
now
anything,
there are
yeah.
no other characters
that
on
honest,
the
that
field.
doesn't even
The
go
cryo
positive.
summon
That's
is not going to
neutral.
be having any targeting shenanigans. It's just going to go directly for
Wait, no, it is-
Sayu.
Yeah, but there's no
That's another
Lotus, so
damage
why
advantage that
think,
you must
right?
consider.
I don't know.
It's a
Yeah,
difficult
if you're up against
calculation
it,
as well for Inzagi
yeah.
because he's at exactly 6 dice. Wait,
Ooh, nice.
oh, there comes the Lotus on Minty. Oh,
And also,
Dang.
he already played the ball.
I was actually wondering if at any point Minty would implore the egg, but I suppose you could try and hold out.
Nice
the entire
Lotus
infinite. It looks
egg.
like it's pretty
Totally
calculated.
came up.
That second hit of Sayu's skill going through takes out Manifestation, should be swapping over to...
Oh, we can draw next
Secure.
round.
Yeah.
This
Fuck,
is
fuck.
still
I don't
enough.
believe in
Inzagi
defensive
does still
utility.
win
Defensive
here.
utility is
Inzagi
fake.
is more than enough dice.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Gamblers.
Inzagi
Just
knows
go
that
for
defensive
hits
utility is fake. He
and
doesn't play
actually
Lotus, just like
go
me.
1v3.
Mine,
take
right?
every
Click burst,
character
click burst.
out. Minty
BM,
trying to hold
BM.
on with the
Yeah.
Lotus and the egg. And you can see the Q will
Alright,
revive
good job,
here.
Inzagi.
But
Versus
Inzagi
yeah,
does so
maybe.
much
Pass,
dice,
pass
and
round,
so
pass round,
despite
no.
his
NA
best
is
efforts,
faster.
Inzagi demonstrates to
Man.
us why he is a
Sure.
player
You
who
could
has
have
passed
earned
round
the
one,
respect
yeah.
of the community.
Okay.
Able to
Yeah,
counter the
Minty has
movement
the title.
What are
Herald
these
Claymore.
3
He
points
needs
Like, what
to
are they
get-
doing?
Until
I
the
hate
other person
3 points.
Countdown,
They
lost
round
just enough
1.
HP 'cause they
Round
used
1
more
countdown
HP,
skill.
Herald to go through and have
into-
those extra damage
Like, this is the
effects
same with like
completely
your.
I don't know.
I hate this.
Inzagi
Her
is
metric.
right now.
So good. It's so. It's,
Yeah.
I literally
Just
just
hold
like
it.
I was saying.
Yeah,
you
standard
see
stuff.
that everybody would
Same-
play.
same stuff.
I thought it was
Yeah, but I heard that.
That is
Something
true, that is
something,
true. And I am glad
something-
to see a lot of
something
Cryo Cube being
sounds
played.
good.
I was a fan.
Yes.
when
Alright,
they
game
switched out
2,
Layla
here we
for
go.
Cryo Cube last time. And even
Okay,
more so
Minty got
now,
countdown.
because I
Wait,
really
hold.
wish I had a cryo cube, 'cause it
And
is
double
really
silly.
hard here.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, keep everything. Yeah.
QR code
Okay.
on the screen. You guys know the drill. And
Okay.
sometime
Oh,
during
Inzaghi
this game,
rolls
the
it.
raffle is going to begin, so make sure you guys keep an eye out on the chat to know the instructions
Nah,
for
you're
participate and
unmuted,
stand a
Buddha.
chance to win 1,000 primo gems.
If it was
Absolutely,
meant
getting
for
there.
us
A
to
moderator
hear.
will be there to tell you the instructions, but it should be let's go, the player, you know, who you're rooting for, and then your UID. So get in there, go quick. The raffles end super fast, and just like this game, we're getting
All
started.
right.
All right, let's have a look
Here's where
Neither
Luma would have been
player
better,
really
though.
high rolling heavily on the dice. We
Yeah.
saw a lot
Countdown.
of that today. So it's nice
Double
that we're
silly,
actually
maybe?
getting
Let's see
regular
it.
ones.
Works out better with
Ooh,
sequence.
wait.
Countdown
No.
being played
Oh
by
my god.
double
Okay,
Awoba.
finally he high rolled.
Then
Wait.
just play
Got
50.
the
Also,
round
I don't know. I don't like
moving
courtyard.
again.
Like,
Yeah, would
I think
definitely
double
prefer
golden house
something
is
else in this
better.
scenario, but it's
Double
okay.
silly,
You
go for
know,
it, go for
Wolves
it.
are a little
Yeah.
awkward
Yeah.
because of
I
course
like
you
that.
can
Skill.
use them, but you want to save these, you know, when you're at that
Okay,
really
not bad.
lethal end games where your opponent's like, okay, my opponent doesn't have any more dice, you know, I'm gonna
Yep.
be fine. Nah, I got you.
No,
He
yeah,
does
it was
have
definitely
double
that
Sealy, though.
he
It's not
already
your
mold.
usual Dunya's are live in and stuff like that, but
You
it
can
can still
see
be
if they're
very
mold or
effective.
not.
And we did actually see Inzaghi react a little bit, saying,
Like,
wow,
if they have
double
a
Sealy,
mold,
okay.
it'll say that.
Yeah, it makes a
like,
lot of sense because, of course, every
Something about
single
shooting
first
parts
turn you can
more or
only ever
something.
start with 8 dice, and if you play
There's some
double
tech.
Sealy, you're actually going to stop yourself from doing multiple
If you haven't
actions. So
pulled yet.
it is, you know, as much as it is efficient, you may stop yourself
All right.
from doing important things like
Where
2
Lumen?
action turns that a lot of
Here's
decks,
where Lumen
tend
would
to
have
do,
been
especially,
mine.
well, looking at Inzaghi's
I guess
side,
Inzaghi
you
can
have
go
the
for
card,
skill,
you know,
double
Looking at
parametric.
Inzaghi's
Huh?
face,
Crazy
the
kick
reason
is
why
out.
he's making an expression like that is because he also doesn't really have the cards he's looking for in his opening hand. Double
Skill,
parametric, it's way too early.
double
Yeah, there's no reason
parametric.
to
That's great, but you
stagger,
don't really need both
for this
copies, and
thing.
you have Dunya Zard, but no other companion to combo her with.
Yeah, absolutely. Junior Zod only works off companion. It's actually a really interesting lesson I learned when talking to other players and playing this game, because of course I do play this game a lot on my own time for competitiveness and guides.
I think generally
but, you
staggering
know, Junior
CD
Zod,
is
if
good.
you don't see
Like,
any other companions in your hand,
The,
it's best
the,
just
the
to
problem
toss
is
it out,
that when
because
you do a
otherwise, I
skill,
mean,
you're
no
not
friends, what are
only
you gonna
drawing
do
with
with it?
CD, you're
That
either
is
drawing
true.
like 5 cards.
Golden
It actually
Troop
makes a lot of
on
sense when you
to
think about it, because if you do
Senora.
end up
Yep.
not drawing
If you're both
any
Yeah,
drawing 8
this is
cards,
good.
your redraw, then you end up
Okay,
in a situation
Minty
like
will win.
Inzaghi right now. Although
Stagger
Minty
as
didn't
in
really
you
get the
play
companion
one,
he was
then
looking
play
for to
the
start
other
turn
one after
one, he's
skill.
still gonna
Minty's
have
gonna
a
do
better
a
round.
lot of
One of the
damage.
You don't draw
Maybe
everything.
Quite decisively.
A lot.
So
You don't
looking
draw
a lot
everything at the same
better
time.
in
You
this
proc
first
the
round.
key with the
Absolutely,
skills
yeah.
at the
Getting a white glove now, it may be a little awkward because, you know, you do have, you know,
I-
you're adding
it-
more cards to your deck, so it lowers
It-
the
it's
chances
more
of
relevant
drawing
with-
something that
it
you may
was
find
more
valuable.
relevant with
Of course,
Yalan,
you know, they can
because
also draw
Yalan-
cards
Yeah,
out
double
for you.
parametric.
Maybe something
Yeah,
like
there you go.
and like,
and it's only one.
if
It's
you have
not
like
Undersea
echoes,
Treasure,
stone
where
rings
it
or
fills your hand
something,
with
like
six.
even hard.
Well, now this is unique.
This is
because
so
you know the
scuffed.
saying,
Might draw like
when
8
life gives you
at the
lemons,
same
you
time.
make lemonade. And when life gives
But
you
here,
double
you probably
parametric
just draw
round one,
6.
you play
Like,
double parametric
Man.
round
You-
one.
you also don't
It's
have to-
obviously not
like, you can
efficient because
easily
you're not
empty
going to
your
get any
hand.
ramp or increase in dice the next turn. But if you
not like you're
time things
saving cards.
correctly, you can actually pop both parametrics at the end of round 2.
No, he faced
and give
courtyard.
yourself a 6 dice advantage over
clap,
your
his own
opponent who
fault.
should already be out.
Inzaghi
of
died.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, no.
He was
It's
so
very important
disappointed
that
as well,
Inzaghi
he
is very
died.
careful with the timing of these parametrics because
Okay, he's
your
back.
opponent's skills and elemental reactions can activate it as well. So as
Ooh.
long as Inzaghi plays around that back
I-
and Minty
Okay.
does
I think
not try to
Killer-
go for a chaotic line,
I think
that
Killer
would mess up
is-
Inzagi's turn.
Skill?
He should be in the clear and be able to pull
Burst?
ahead with this much.
my
effort.
limit.
I don't know if I like
and there's
this.
the KO, though.
That does hurt. That is the reason why Thunder Manifestation was one of the premier
Oh
aggro
my
carries
God.
a couple of patches ago. Still definitely very strong. We're
Oh,
definitely
dice
questioning,
though.
is Minty going to attack? Are they going to try and avoid proccing
discard
parametric?
Junior
But I think
Zord.
no matter what, unless they
Discard
just choose
fast
not to
swap,
attack
you
at
don't
all
need
this
it,
round, they're
maybe.
going to pop it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not a good idea, so may as well.
Oh,
come
this
in.
sucks. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Absolutely. Now, Minty needs to be careful here because they're definitely going to go for another action, but they need to start
Do you ever
getting rid of
just
cards
load
in their
swap?
hand because that treasure-seeking
The
scene
Q?
is going to proc after their next action. It's going to draw 6.
I don't
Of course,
hate
as you can
load
see in their
swap
hand,
Q.
they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be overdraw, and 2 cards will be burned.
And you do not want that to happen, especially in a more aggressive
Yeah, I don't
deck,
hate
right?
both
When
of
you're
you.
playing a more aggressive deck, almost every card is put into the deck for an express reason.
What does cleanup
of
do here?
contributing
Cleanup
to
does
damage
nothing.
and pressure. So you can't really
Skill
afford
swap.
to lose anything.
Okay.
Yeah, no, these aggro decks, you know, because effectively
Okay,
speaking,
now you
you
don't
know,
really
despite
like
having
it.
a little bit of a slow
Okay,
start,
maybe
Minty is
fast
playing
swap. I don't
a
know.
full aggro deck. All these characters are here to throw as much damage as possible.
He
and
has
of course,
fast
using things like
swap.
White Glove and Cryo Res are going to contribute
Excuse me.
to those factors of a damage pop-off.
Well, it's gonna be Minty's turn
Okay,
once
thank you.
again.
Oh yeah, I forgot to turn
And
off the
if
fan.
they
That's
go for
why.
another action, they are
Oops.
going to proc parametric. They unluckily don't
You could
really
just
have
go
the best
for-
dice
wait,
to
what?
work with. They've got
Oh.
double woven, but those are for Cube or Signora, and not really manifestation.
And a
So
burst
yeah,
on
they got a
Cube.
quick swap. They're gonna use it.
Yeah, you can see Inzagi had a little bit of a smile there. He's like,
Numbers, okay.
I'm about to
It's what
use
it's going
my
for.
double
I
pair.
think
And a
that's
burst,
It's
yeah.
just a normal attack.
Sure.
You didn't have to double.
Ooh,
move.
wait.
Nice.
That-
You didn't need to reload.
Oh, that's really good for
timing,
Inzagi.
Actually.
That's
Uh,
definitely gonna go
they
to
have
New Venet.
Golden House in hand. They have Ancient Courtyard. They should be able to get this equipped if they
Ooh.
want to. And Minty only has enough dice left for one action, so it's
Really?
3
Oh,
dice
you got
versus
pretty good
10.
dice.
This is
He
so
got
That's gonna
double
give Inzagi a
cryo
lot of
and
time to play with.
Yeah, this is a pretty monstrous
get
turn.
double
Minty's
cryo?
going to have to extend as much as their HP like they did last
Okay.
round. And
You got
also
one
make
deal,
use
one
of
cryo.
their
For real
devices,
though,
because
I think
otherwise, Inzagi's just gonna start
100%,
trucking, like we saw.
100%.
No, you
got-
it's not only one
probably
cryo,
isn't
but
going to
one
come out
cryo,
Minty
one
just
deal.
wins.
is so
Ujaha
good.
alone does a good
Like
amount
Minty
of
has
damage
a
and
lot
also
of
brings
resources
damage
in his
to make
hand,
their burst
a lot of
damage
good
even
ones, and
stronger, but
then
this is
this
already
one
setting
will
Inzagi
proc
for a
as
very
well. Oh
clean
yeah.
endgame.
Unfortunately,
Good
not
stuff
able
for
to get
Minty.
first out on
Yeah,
Ice
Minty
Cube, but
wins.
that's not
Alright, go
usually
next.
compulsory.
1-1.
So I think Inzagi was perfectly
Oh,
fine
man.
with sacrificing it in order to put himself into this situation. And he's gonna be able to start putting
Oh, the
that
break
pressure
points work
on.
so well
As you
too,
mentioned, gonna
man.
go ahead
Cube
and
is so
attack
good.
on Azzaha, absorbing the cryo on Minty's Cube.
Yeah, and I do wonder
Why
if
play that
Minty will
early?
actually go for
I don't
the
know.
cryo
No, he
cube
doesn't
first.
kill
I imagine
if
not. They want to
Minty
use
goes-
their dice to swap
I think you
around as
use
much as
clean up
possible.
here.
Don't give Inzagi
Okay.
any free, you know, lethals because there is the gamblers in hand. Looks like they go for it though.
And then you go
I
6.
think the reason that we saw
NA?
the
NA
white glove
gamblers?
card there being used
I'm not sure about the
was
fast
to try
swap
and drop Azzaha
before.
to a
Seems
to
kind
a
of
health
mean.
threshold
You
where
want
a
fast
lightning
swap
rod
to
skill
two
on
here.
manifestation would be able to lead
You
them,
can't
right?
kill 2
Oh yes,
against
absolutely.
6.
And as long as Minty
Yeah.
gets at least one white glove or a cryo res, Asia
You get
will
flip
not be
stick,
long for this
but you
world and
can't
is going to
kill
be
stick.
on the charge of the other dragon
wait,
to take
hold
his
on.
place.
You can, okay, you can
Normally
end with
that is
cryo on
okay, but since Inzagi has already lost Cryo Cube, we have
Like,
to note, even
skill-
if Nuvalet has a lot of solo carry potential, you still ideally want
Any
another character
skill,
around, at least so
any.
that you can do things like swap stalling. So keeping Azzaha
NA.
alive is in Inzagi's best
Oh,
And then
interest.
next round
skill,
you have-
cryo
And
skill,
Inzagi goes
yeah.
very
Let-
simple,
Okay,
neutral
wait, hold
attack,
on.
takes out the Cryo Cube
If
gamblers,
Minty has
goes
fast swap.
over, and now they
Oh.
have to
Here's how
face down
against you play.
Signora.
Wait.
Healthy,
Oh,
9 HP,
uh-oh.
Golden Troop, decost.
Why?
Down to
You
a
All of a
skill
sudden,
any.
I have a
At this
bad
point,
feeling
Upper
about
skill.
this. Wait,
next round. Now, how does Inzagi respond with just 6
wait,
dice
slow
remaining?
down.
6 dice
You don't
with
want to
two
burst skill,
actions.
just
skill
Oh.
and
No,
then
you don't even
Does
want to kill.
burst,
Just
but it
high
would
skill
only
and then
do
quick weapon.
5 damage currently, which
Oh,
is
shit.
actually
Weapon
enough to
ones.
flip Signora.
Actually, okay,
for next
But
actually-
don't you want to flip
I don't think
six?
you want to
Weapon
give them a
cost
free
I think you don't
action.
wanna
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's
Do
what I
you
was
want-
thinking
I
about
think you
this
don't
one.
wanna
Could
flip
push
Signora to
I'd
Pyro.
rather
Burst
Crimson Witch around,
skill.
because of course it's
I
very
think
important
that's
to get
skill
res
too
in
much.
Plays on
revives as soon
Lotus.
as possible,
I like it
but then
better.
Signora, all she would have to do is
Oh, are you
cryo res
gonna-
and do an
I
element.
Are you gonna
and
do it?
basically just
Making
breathe,
sure that
and
you
then
kill
Inzagi's
Sig is
Ace
a bad
is
thing.
gone.
What? No, you
Inzagi
skill
could
and then you live
consider
on you
equipping
live on
Purely Too Loud
4.
with the
Then
last dice here
don't
because
equip the weapon.
now that cryo
No,
is
if you
applied
burst
on
skill,
both manifestation and
He
Signora,
lives on
and
you can
one.
leave Azzaha out, eat the cryo from the summon, and then let Nuvalet
Oh, wait,
freeze
Nuvalet
the next
can
turn, as
freeze.
long as
I don't know, I
Minty
think this
doesn't
is
have
bad.
big
Like, you're just
swaps.
putting on
Inzagi
let
should
kill
actually
ass.
be in a good spot.
And you lose
Yeah,
your
I
Burst?
definitely
thing.
agree with that. Too
Wow,
easy to
okay.
make
I don't think
a
dice is a good thing.
decent
It's
option.
dice be
Looks
the
like
good
there's
thing.
gonna be,
I'm
for
not
the lethal
sure
Signora
about
and
that.
The flip, but watch out, Ace
I don't
Hopefully,
know.
that one
I
extra
think the
crystal
bigger
shield is gonna be
concern
enough.
is just
Probably
dying.
not. But anyway, outside of that, like you said,
Oh.
Nuvalet and freezing. It is the
Uh-oh.
intended end game of this double dragons deck. You're gonna get cryo on all
Okay,
the characters through the
yeah,
Minty
Minty
and
wins.
Azaha, and then you can have
Easily,
a clean
yeah.
Nuvalet sweep. But looks like they're still gonna go for it. Oh, 0. Nice golden house. That's what we're missing.
Ah, okay,
It doesn't
okay.
matter.
So Inzagi is able to get an action out as well as an attack.
Yeah,
because with the ancient
Cryo,
courtyard and
cryo
Golden
as
Yeah, I
House,
well
think
onto
Inzagi
New
is
Venet.
does
Yeah,
end
this
up
is
being
GG.
free.
Gamblers!
Unfortunately, with the way
not,
that the Cryo
not
Cube
that
summon works,
needed.
having Signora as the
Yeah,
auto
GG.
character
That
means
Gamma
Yeah,
that
Minty
Signora
wins.
will
Yeah,
get
they
the
finally got that high
priority
roll
position
he
no
needed
matter
with
what.
this deck.
So
That's
Inzhagi's
for
got
sure.
a lot
Right,
of damage
I think you were
to
right.
potentially contend with.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you know.
You just
I also
play-
here, I got a little scared
You
there,
just
when
play
the Cryo summon
Tandoori
hit,
and
but I
you
have
just
to remember,
win.
this
Yeah.
is not the
Okay,
freeze
kill-
version of
killing
this deck, it is more
this
of, you know,
makes
the
you always
damage-oriented.
Like,
So
dude, you have
you're
cryo
not gonna
res,
do not have to
you
do
can put
Tandoori.
you can put Minty on that.
You have
It's going to be
double
very
cleanup
difficult.
as
Two
well.
cryo res
Yeah.
and
You
two
were
It's
always
call for
welcome.
cleanup, so that's a lot of damage coming.
Ordinarily,
So Senora,
just
2
basic
again,
skill
2
Right
plus
now,
2
about to do something.
plus
would only
2,
do 4 damage.
Tandoori,
Yeah.
Melt,
is that
Kept you in the
effective
game.
7.
and then plus 1 from cleanup.
Tandoori cleanup.
And then Inzhagi will skill, that will be like plus 1 damage
Doesn't matter when
for
you
Thunder
fire
Manifestation.
cleanup or Tandoori
Yeah,
cleanup.
most Minty, you can actually see
yeah,
the
like,
to write on paper. They're trying to do
jeez.
the math and see
This
ways that
hand
they
is
can get out of
not,
this situation,
yeah,
because
it's not,
obviously you
that's
can,
not helpful.
stack up those damage boosters,
Okay.
and the call for cleanup to get a
Alright.
clean lethal on Age to Hub. But the question is worth
This is
it,
gonna
because
be a
even if
quick
Minty
series,
has
I
the
feel
upper,
like.
you have to
Maybe,
spend-
yeah, Tandoori,
Tandoori.
yeah.
Okay, we're going for this instead.
They had
Yeah.
that
He
in hand
knows.
as well. Couldn't tell which
It's
food
cool.
it was, but I suppose we should have known. There's
With
only
the
so
glove
many
as well,
foods that
yeah,
cost
it's
here.
so
And that
cool.
means that you don't even need the cryo res. I think even just
Why?
one color
What?
for cleanup will
Huh?
be enough, though they will go ahead and play that cryo res
What?
anyway.
Why?
Yeah, I think it's all right to expend the cryo res now. I don't
I
know.
mean,
probably
it's
wouldn't wanna
whatever.
call for cleanup, but you have to take that lethal, and now it is just a Nuvi-lit solo.
What?
Can they take down these two
Okay,
villainous
whatever.
bosses?
Yeah, it's whatever. Just play
At
double
this
cleanup.
point,
I mean,
it's
fuck
going to
it.
be
You can
very,
even
very
play cryo res.
difficult.
It's whatever.
The only
Gets you the most damage.
plus
Then
don't
discard,
need- you never need
discard,
to-
yeah, whatever.
No, actually.
Sure.
Yeah, Minty
Yeah.
will
He
have
had
enough
DT on
here.
it, so
Yeah,
if you,
they
even if you
specifically
gamblers, you
didn't
don't
play
get
Gamblers
more.
or the Egg at any point.
You
to
get
make
more
sure
useful,
they do
but-
full damages, cryo res, call for
Go full
cleanup,
damage,
call for
yep,
cleanup again.
there it
Here we
is.
go.
Technically.
And yeah, that's gonna be a
Woo!
skill.
11
Yeah,
There was
damage.
one more use.
Damn.
There was one more use for
From
me.
the Thunder Manifestation,
matter,
it is
but-
completely
Technically
unnecessary,
doesn't matter.
but sometimes you just gotta end
Oh,
things
actually,
with a bang. That's something.
Alright.
You
We're gonna
high
have to
roll.
look at the deck list
What do you
first.
mean?
Mhm,
You got the
yep,
perfect
So
hand. I roll
Minty's
like
crab
I rolled
list
mid.
doesn't
I
have
literally couldn't kill your
Much
partner because
food.
you didn't have any
That's a
party
very
to kill.
Unlike,
Anyway,
you know,
we
under
have
this.
Sino talent, which is
But
super
this is-
relevant because
wow,
it's gonna give you
Tandoori,
plus
huh?
2 damage
Okay.
based on your stacks, and then also we
No
have Crab talent, which is
arcane.
super duper important to have.
If I had
Oh.
Pyrus,
Just
I would
increase
just
the
let
amount of
Toma
bonus
die
shields
and
that
then I
you get,
kill
but
your
also is a
Tarzan and I
pyro
would be
cleanse.
happy.
So in this freeze relevant matchup, Crab is not gonna have to
Interesting.
worry
Don't
about getting
winery.
frozen because that is the
Okay.
one thing that
Winery always was a little bit slow to get that value
Yeah,
added
run
up
it
because you
back.
basically had to wait 2 rounds and use it.
Alright, here we go.
before you
Game
end up
number
losing
3.
all of those buffs. So all of this helps
Crab
a lot,
versus
and I
Double
think some
Dragon.
players even
Wow.
may
Oh,
think
Game
it
is
may have
there.
helped too
Hello.
much.
Oh, Zekrim's
Yeah,
here.
we'll see how
What the
it
hell?
goes, and you know if my prediction is right. Of course, I haven't gotten to see too much gameplay of it because this was played in the Prince Cup Atlantic, but not enough to the point where we have a lot of matchup data.
Absolutely, but as we jump on in here, this is going to be game
Alright.
number 3
Crab
between
start?
Minty and Inzhagi. And as per usual, we're gonna have raffles
Oh,
happening,
right.
so keep
I mean,
your eyes glued to the
really?
chat as well
Okay.
as the stream. And when you guys have some free time,
Done.
scan the QR code to tell
Done.
us what
Done.
you enjoy
Yes,
and what you
yes.
dislike, so that we can make these tournaments
Skill.
even better for
Oh,
all of you
Liven.
watching.
Okay, full
So
ramp
your
then?
feedback
Oh no,
is
you can't.
appreciated, and of course, and not
Oh,
just
no,
the
you
players
can.
who are going to be winning and
You
losing
can.
on the stage today. You could be the one
Heart.
to win 1,000
Harbin,
primo drops. Real quick, listen to the
Golden
monitor, look
House.
for the sign, and you'll be
That's
able to enter
1,
that
2,
raffle.
3, 4, 5,
Looking at
potentially
things
6.
right now, Inzhagi
Yeah.
going to have turn
That's good.
priority and immediately going for quite a bit of a ramp.
Now,
They did also play
do you-
Countdown, which actually ended up drawing too late, too loud.
Do you
very
skill?
early. So
That's
anytime
insane.
Inzhagi feels
I think
they
you
can play
do.
it, then
Or at
it's
the same
already
time you
prepared.
don't. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
there's
We talked
talent
about,
that
the
will
freeze
You know,
cleanse
let them
the
play
Double
Double
Dragon's Cube. Now the thing is, you
Cryo
do actually
Aura.
end up freezing more towards the end game,
Good
but of course,
talent.
I mean, okay,
you know,
you're gonna
now
let
that
them play
Inzhagi has
talent
to
for free
contend with the
anyway.
general Mahamatra and his damage spike, you do actually have to play a little faster. And
I
maybe try
think
to
you
aim,
have to full
freeze
round.
Sino
Oh,
as
the
soon
Minty
as
open
possible.
well.
Liben.
It's gonna be a difficult thing to achieve. At the very least, Inzhagi won't have to worry about Tada. A lot of players who
Yeah,
wanted
there
to
you
play
go.
freeze decks have found their plans thwarted.
The
by
fact that
card
Minty started
alone.
on Crab
So, the fact that
Or
Minty
should
doesn't have it
signal
should allow
Inzhagi
Inzhagi to play with a little less
that
weight
Minty
on
has
his
the
shoulders,
talent
and with
for
Liven being
Crab
played here, may
and wants
Maybe
to
that
take
he doesn't hit you,
advantage.
or just bet on
I
it.
Of
think
that,
ramp is definitely a good
I
option
guess.
because interestingly,
Yeah, there
Minty
you go.
is doing one of the things that you'll see a lot
Yep.
in freeze matchup
Full
is
ramp.
fielding off
Okay,
early
that's ramp 8
application. What that
actually,
means
is
that
it
you're gonna
not?
start in characters
We
that
finally
you
got
typically
it
win, because the best
for the
start
bingo.
for Minty would definitely be Toma or Sino. You know, Crab is never the one you want to throw in early because like the whale, they start
there
at
you go.
a very
Full
low
round 8,
you know,
guys.
extra value through this one through shield and
Very,
with
very
HP
nice.
because, you know, Crab only has a 5 extra HP and and they have to make sure they gain
what do
this
you
all
do when you
back
play
so they can stack more and more shields
just
later on.
from
I think this is a behavior
just
we
grab,
see from
apply pyro
basically
on one
every
character,
player.
then snipe them.
We can
There you go.
see from the reaction of Inzagi,
Wow,
though,
full ramp
that
as well,
Minty being
damn,
able to
okay.
Yeah,
equip
they're broken.
two
Respect, actually.
tenacities on
Very nice
round
Holy.
one is going to
Very,
make
very
this Emperor of Fire and
even
Iron a
good when
true
you can
Emperor
cross?
indeed.
Oh yes, indeed. Tenacity's helm, the crown of the
Yeah, that's
crab.
really strong.
And you know, the reason Inzagi is
Okay,
shaking
Minty just
his
wins.
head
He
also
there
has
is because
mana,
that's
which
kind of
lets
sort
him
of
Maybe, I hope.
high
Which is
roll
very
line
nice.
Anything can
for
happen.
the crab deck. Getting tenacities
Anything
early,
can happen,
you know,
Do
is a
you
big deal.
tank
It's
on
why
crab
people end up
most of
even
the
running
time?
the lower
You
version,
tank
the
on
quote-unquote
Uh,
4-star version.
I
as they
want to
call
say
the
that usually when you
general
full ramp,
Ancient helm,
probably
which
full
only
ramp on
gives you the
crab,
shield and not
sometimes
the
you don't
extra
so
dice.
much.
But now
Kinda
Minty
depends.
is sitting very strong, very nicely.
Might
Now
as- you know
Inzagi
what, just
has
go
to
for
figure
it,
out a way to
right?
tear
If you
through
want to
this.
cleanse
Inzagi does
with your
have a good amount of
talent,
dice
then
as
you
well as plenty
obviously
of
always
cards to
Might
play
as well.
with. Four Princess gilded in hand already with
I mean,
Timaeus
it will
and
get
Golden
cleansed.
House
It
set up.
is
Not
what
to
it
mention
is,
the
but
Julie Tula we
yeah,
mentioned
I mean, what
earlier.
can you do?
So they can definitely try
Another
to
Okay,
play
the
more
problem
aggressive
here,
to make
I don't
sure
know,
that the grab doesn't stack up too much shielding.
Golden
But
Troop,
having to
Hey,
potentially
contend
for
with
New
double
Villette.
tenacity
Okay,
Let's rock
on
him. Like,
round
he has a
one
really good
on a deck
opener.
that usually
He
plays
has
a
a lot
little
of
bit
good cards.
slower
Like,
is a
still
very
can't
tall
see how
order.
he really
Yeah,
wins.
absolutely. You know, Inzagi, once again, they're still in the same, you know, early scenario, and now Minty's going to benefit
Like,
from the fact that Cryo
New
is
Villette
attacking
gets
in.
two shots.
You
He
know, there
literally
we
gets
go.
two
The tenacity dice
shots.
just
So-
got gained. And also, Opera Epiclis. Very
have to work
interesting to
around
see
that
this card
somehow.
once again, because
Okay,
it is
play
going to be
talent.
based off how many equips
Okay,
you or your opponent
synergize,
has
sure,
to view
sure.
more. Of course, Minty having, you
No
know,
talent.
3 tenacity is pretty expensive, not
No,
gonna
it's
lie.
fine.
But
You
yeah,
can
there
still
go.
play
And
talent
also,
with
yeah, there we go.
Toma.
They're just getting
You can still
everything,
get the-
honestly.
you can still get
Dawn
the-
Winery.
They've got the
Okay.
Dawn Winery here,
Yeah, you
so
can still get the
Minty
value.
will be
Minus
able to
one
play a
shield,
little bit
right?
slower and
No, you can
adjust
talent now
depending
and
on
then
what
Toma
Inzagi
still.
decides to
Yeah,
do.
Toma.
If Inzagi wants
No,
to go
Winery
for the
lets you
typical
Yeah.
line,
even
go for
more
mid-range,
against
get
New
set up
Villette.
on a new roulette,
And
then
then
Minty
Villette
can
don't
just
think that
match
matters.
and make sure the crab is stacked up. And if Inzagi decides, no, I'm gonna try and stop him and play aggro, then he has the switches capable here to
Okay,
make sure that his
Inzagi.
characters aren't
I
taking
mean,
too
what
much
do you do?
damage.
Just
You can
NA,
actually see
NA burst.
Inzagi is throwing up his hands, counting out all the dice available because they do
Stopping
have
don't
2
want to die.
Gilded Dreams available to generate more dice. The question if it's really worth it. Of course, you always stay on Cryo Keep and try to get as
Yeah,
much cryo
NA burst
application as
and then
possible.
potentially
But they may be looking
go
for those
HDR
alternative lines because,
skill
of course, fighting
with
Overload
Gilded
deck, we
and
haven't
all
gotten to
that
see
stuff.
Overload for quite a bit, but now
Maybe.
you do not have control of where your
So
character
But then-
is going to be
Crab
pushed
dice
around
broke
thanks to
it.
that reaction.
Crab will get
NA
applied by
burst,
Pyro.
skill NA burst into skill
A very
NA
Sino
important
can
mechanic
snipe.
where if a character
Yeah.
goes down and you get to choose who becomes active next is just completely negated by the nature of Overload itself, and you don't want to give that control over
Heartbreak.
your opponent if
Okay,
you can
skill.
avoid
Huh?
it.
Still a
For
turn.
now,
Hello?
though,
Minty?
going to be able to get that
Minty?
energy started on Toma,
I mean,
and the reason again why Toma
Minty
is
can
in
still
this deck
play
is
talent.
what we
It's
saw
not
right there.
too late.
More shields for the crab.
Absolutely. Now, I'm a little surprised that Minty didn't go for the crab talent because,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
mentioned, is
it's
going
not
to,
li- it's
have
not
that
yet
cleanse,
too
so
late.
it does make sense
He can
why,
still play it,
you
it's
may want to
whatever.
keep the crab talent, but the important thing is it also
He's gonna feel
increases
like
the
that.
amount of
It doesn't
value that
matter.
you
I
get
think
for
this
your
is
shield,
really
so it is
good
going
for
to
Minty.
slow
Playing
down,
it, playing
Minty's
crab
energy
talent
a
last.
little bit.
Yeah, it is interesting. If
So
it
that,
only
you know,
removed
your movement,
the
like with
elemental
5 dice, is
aura,
not
then
going
it
to
makes
be
sense that you would save
predictable,
for a situation
I
where
guess.
you want the crab to actually do something. But in this case, it does
Like,
actually
if
double
Inzagi doesn't
the
play, like,
amount
swap
of
Ash
shields
anyway,
you get
then
from eating shields on other characters. So the earlier
it's
you
more
swap
valuable
Ash?
to
the
be
better.
secret than
Looks
Oh.
like Inzagi is. Maybe they're trying to push to
Potentially,
New
but
Villette
okay.
early because I'm like, oh, this is a ramp turn, but wait, no,
Do
they have 2 Gilded
you-
Dreams, you know, with
Gilded
0 cost, and they also have so many cards
That
that
feels
they
like
have
a
to
waste.
start actually tuning in or tossing some
I
if they
don't
didn't want to
know.
overdraw. They would be okay here, but you know, it's generally ill-advised
I
to, you know,
don't know.
have yourself, you know, force yourself to have 10 cards, right?
skill
It
it
is a
on.
possibility that Inzagi's just holding on to those
How
cards
I
and
do?
waiting
Like,
until the
I
round
say
is
he
almost
high roll, but it
over
just
to
doesn't
pop
work
them,
out
so
in
that
this
Minty
matchup.
is
could.
able to prepare for it.
So whack.
So
Okay,
that timing
swap
is coming
then.
pretty
Yeah,
close, so we can see
sure.
one being played already on Azdaha. So it looks like Inzagi isn't
Inzagi.
planning to field New Villette just yet, even
He
though
rolled
he
really
has
strong.
Tula
Like, it
equipped.
doesn't work.
Yeah, definitely a good
Doesn't
move.
work
Of course,
out.
Ace, you know, not much element application has been Ooh, Ace had talent. Very
And
nice.
the Liar Song. Like, it's
Nice.
not as good as it
There's
was
one.
before, but it's still pretty handy for getting more dice out. So, very nice strategized there for Inzagi.
Okay.
Absolutely, Inzagi's running through it. Looks like they want to go for another, you know,
What did you
skill
discard
on
here?
Cube. Maybe the burst. The burst would definitely.
I don't know.
help out,
This
but
is so
do
scuffed.
believe,
I mean,
once they get the
Boar,
targeting return,
sure.
you could get
Boar
you know,
burst.
other characters like Sino hit. Of course, you need to
Could
move around
swap
for that.
Ash
But,
into
it's going to be nice to have a
Para,
consistent form of
Ash.
cryo application, especially because, you know, Cryo Cube is not
Okay, what
looking
Kevin
too
G
good in
said,
the face
swap
of the General Mahamatra
to-
and his massive damage.
Yeah, burst may actually be a
Ooh.
good idea here. Because
Wait,
like
I don't know
mentioned,
about
you
that.
would need to
I
move
don't
your
know.
players around
Para?
in order to
Oh.
ensure that
Burst?
is applied to Sino.
Uh,
But since it just so happens that Astaha is opposite Sino here, that's actually a character Inzagi is perfectly comfortable with leaving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, if he
There we
gets
can
the
see
second
the
Para
talent
in
for
his
the crowd
deck.
comes out, and Toma once again.
Oh,
the crowd
boy.
just swoops
Only
it all,
really
give me
loses
those shields,
one
and already
die,
sitting at
but
12 stacks.
that
Not bad.
can't be good.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty
Unfortunately, though,
bad.
not going
That
to have
can't be
enough dice
right.
to switch over to Aslaha to end the turn, so Toma is going
Also,
to
what do you do if you
Aslaha to
guys?
end
Oh,
the
what the
turn,
hell?
So Toma is going to end
Okay.
up eating
Really
the
good.
cryo
I don't think it was
application
end on
as
Toma.
well, which
I wanted
is
to go
something that
fast.
Minty is going to be very happy about. The longer he can keep Aura off of Sino, the more easily he's going to be able to just walk up and hit Inzagi's characters really hard in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting how these decks not only have a very opposite, you know, archetype, but also different sub-archetypes as well. You know, me
Okay,
referencing the
yeah,
Sino.
how do you
because,
beat
of course,
Crab?
Sino in
Maybe
a
you
deck
don't
like
beat
this.
Crab.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of
Crab,
reasons we already
then
explained it.
getting
But,
dice
you know, with
This
this,
thing has
it's
22
interesting that
HP.
they
No
are
fast
just
swap
staying
for
on
Minty
Toma and
though,
Cryo
but
Cube
I
respectively.
guess
They're just gonna
Minty
skill,
can
skill,
play
skill as long as
slow.
they can.
It's fine.
It's starting to
Yeah,
become a bit of a
Nahida,
trend
stop.
between these two,
Right.
because that's exactly what
Dice
happened in game
though.
number one
Oh,
as
yikes.
well, right?
I mean,
There's
Minty
clearly
can-
a very deep amount of respect here from both these players for one another, and
What do you do?
a
Swap
recognition
Ash, swap
that
Ash,
Alright,
Sino
this
Instinct
is
will
Inzagi
do
swap.
heavily in this
No,
very
Minty
Right.
swaps
fast matchup.
Crab.
Yeah,
Alan.
we're just waiting.
Compared to
You know,
this,
Inzagi's looking at the
Sino?
potential lines because this is the point where Sino not only does he have already 2 stacks,
So
but now
swap.
you have to
Honestly,
work
it's not
around.
Toma, and then if they
You know,
hit
that
you,
damage.
Oh, there it is.
get
Oh,
one
okay,
Now
never
moving to
mind.
Ace-Taha,
Okay,
definitely a
yeah.
good move. I was thinking, yeah, Ace-Taha is probably the best move you can do. Talent,
Definitely
so you
What is
can generate
double
more
Toma
damage.
burst?
If you don't know Ace-Taha talent,
Oh,
it costs you
Sino.
2
Yeah,
alignment
It is
dice.
avoiding
very
reaction.
Once you
nice.
play,
Yeah.
it'll generate 3 dice
Sure.
of each character.
It doesn't-
There's a
Your
reason-
deck's gonna be
there's a
cryo,
reason
you
I
know,
don't
doesn't
play it.
beat
Hydro for
three
the
deck,
newbie left,
and it
and that
doesn't
way
beat
you'll be
small
able
With
to
talent, wow,
dice
one
and just
cost.
keep pushing the turn
Okay,
forward.
if Double Dragon 4 was
Hopefully,
like,
Talent?
it
Inzagi
could
will be able
do
to
stuff
do
round
that.
2, it
Because
could go
when
on
we
to
look on
round
the other
4,
side
now
of
it's
the
like
board, we
purely
can see
round
that the Crab
3.
already has 18 shields built up. So effective 22 HP, which is
That's
a
like
threshold
5
that is difficult to
damage.
achieve even for the whale. So if Inzagi wants to overcome
Yeah,
this, he
talent.
has a lot of work to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Inzagi pushes it back
Swap,
over to Minty,
okay.
and Minty responds.
Yeah,
by
Minty's
simply
gonna swap stall.
stalling onto Crab.
That's
And
why
once
he
again,
has
since
Dawn
Dawn
Winery.
is here, swap stalling is way
Okay.
more viable strategy
Okay,
because you can swap
Minty.
around with no
I see
cost
you.
to your dice.
It's just free, and it feels so good to be able to do that for free, especially when you want to avoid giving your opponent free damage or free reactions, which is exactly the situation Minty finds themselves in. Earlier, they would be a little more hesitant to leave the Crab vulnerable, but now that he has 18 shield, he can just eat whatever is necessary, and Minty is totally fine with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the
Oh,
interesting
now
things
getting
while we were
Now
seeing
what?
that
What are you
Sino
gonna
does
do?
have the Golden Troops reward. You know, it's one of the smaller artifacts, but it does make it so that your skill is going to cost
I
more
don't
since
know.
Minty has waited enough turns. And this is really interesting because you can see Minty is actually thinking about
Do
playing
you
Sino
swap
talent
back?
or not, because that is the surprise +2 damage, you know, boost that you
Yeah,
can get
okay.
Wow,
unconditionally.
man, this is just not
A
it.
little bit difficult for
Oh.
Minty to do that here, I think, because there isn't really a fast swap on their side, and other
Swap
than
move,
Cryo,
actually.
the
Fast move
characters
is
don't
so
have any
bad.
pyro and are at still full HP, so it's not really the time to pop that just yet. So we're going to see continued swap stalling for these players to
if-
position better, and
if you get
eventually
nuked in,
someone's got to crack.
It just
Absolutely. I have a feeling that
you
both
just
Minty
can't
and
kill-
Inzagi would
you don't have
probably
enough
go for
damage to kill
skills
the
here
crab
because,
while
of course,
staying safe
Inzagi
from
has
Sino.
the dice advantage having 2 Gilded Dreams at their
There's the
disposal to
problem
just
here.
throw out there and go crazy with. But, you know, Minty is run out of Dawn Winery usages, so every swap is going to cost them.
And I think Inzagi has
Definitely
realized
just
that as
first hit.
well. That's why we are going to see New Valette come out. Basically, if Minty
And then
does
he
decide
has
to
to keep
burst on
swap-stalling.
Toma here, he is going to get frozen, which Minty
And
doesn't
then
mind. Once
you
Toma
can't,
bursts, he
you
doesn't
don't have
really
enough
need
to
do
shred.
anything
Okay,
else.
7
This
more
means Inzagi
stacks
also
for the
has
bingo.
24
bingo. Come on.
With Sino being able to
I think it's
proc
possible.
overloads on
27
command.
stacks.
Yeah, this definitely makes a
For
lot of sense.
Crab,
Inzaghi
27
swapping Duel, that
more
makes a ton of sense
or
because you
more
don't want to
stacks.
give Toma the ability to
Ooh.
feed the
Is that actually what
Crab,
happened?
being the fisherman and all. Really
Countdown?
does not want that. But then,
Okay.
otherwise, Minty is simply going to respond by swapping to Sino and now threatening
So
New
good.
Oh
which
wait,
is
you can
very
do.
dangerous.
Inzhagi has a lot of dice
Even
here.
the countdown, unfortunately, Inzaghi not going to be able to find what he was looking for there.
Ooh.
You can see in his face, you can see in his heart rate that this game is
Oh,
not going
yeah.
the way he wants.
You have board
Nuvolet
Princess,
definitely
Lyre,
capable of doing really
Heart,
strong
Double
1v1s.
Gilded. There's
We've
even
already
Gamblers.
seen Nuvolet
I feel.
take
Oh,
down whales in single
okay, I feel like
solo
Inzaghi
duels
can
when they
sweep
had way more
somehow. Or
HP.
okay, maybe
But I
not.
think the Crab is a bit
I
more
mean,
of a
even
difficult
still.
opponent due to the fact that
Inzaghi will swap
talent
stall, I
is
think,
cleansed,
and then go
and, well,
to
it's just
Nuvolet.
really difficult to handle.
Sino.
Yeah, here it comes. Sino is now on the field. Any
That's
character
Sino.
is at threat because not only does Minty have
If
the
you could
risk
just stop
and the
between
talent, but
Crab
also
and-
because Toma bursted, they now have the
whatever.
Crimson
Swap,
Oyoiroi, which if you don't know what that does, anytime you use a normal attack, it'll generate you one
Swap
shield,
Asia.
also do a coordinated
Or
one
actually
pyro damage.
no,
And that's
yeah, there
super
goes. Swap
relevant
Asia.
for characters like
Makes sense.
Sino and Thundering Manifestation, who was originally playing this deck because
Swap
Sino can infuse his normal
Crab.
attacks with Electro
Just keep
as
swap
soon as he
stalling.
gets enough stacks. So he's effectively
'Cause
being able to not only be a
you-
cash character,
you
but also
can-
have that bonus damage. There it goes.
Whoa.
And it ends up acting kind of similarly to the way Chef Bruce
Oh,
and
NA.
Perspectives Drill together work as well.
Wait.
Because you get that
I
free and
can't- you
easy
can't even
pyro
stay
application,
here.
And
You
you
literally
get a
have to
little bit
saw.
of damage reduction to
He
make sure that Sino
needs
can
to swap.
continue
If he
remaining
doesn't
on the
saw,
field. So we are
oh,
now seeing a
oh no.
situation where both Crab and Sino are getting quite
Oh,
enabled
no.
by Minty.
Inzaghi has to swap.
And Inzaghi
If
really
not-
isn't in a
Swap
position
to
yet to actually
Nuvolet's
press
dead.
that
Ash, you
Okay,
can
there
use
you go.
Talent.
Yeah, and this is a
Raw.
little unfortunate because I do believe Minty could take
Talent.
a here.
This
This is once
only
again
has,
another
like,
really
2
cool
actions.
thing, you know, about artifacts and stuff, but it's the Golden Troop.
Yeah.
You know, it's still decosting it, so the talent cost only 1. Boom! There it goes.
And there we go. That's what you talked about with the talent, with the stacks, being able to add
Is
that
that
extra
Gamblers?
damage,
Oh,
even
no, I don't think
without
this is
relying on
Gamblers.
things like pyro,
Oh yeah,
pyro
that's Golden
resonance,
Troop. Yeah,
or
makes
called in
sense,
for
makes sense,
cleanup.
makes sense. Yeah.
Astha has just gone. He hasn't been able to do basically anything this whole game.
Okay, now what?
Is your secondary carry
At
in this
best,
deck.
Yeah,
Nuvolet
since
can
Crab
do
already
2
cleansed the
actions
Cryo, Toma is the
with
only
the
one with
Lyre
pyro
Song,
application.
Double
And,
Gilded,
as much as
Board
Minty does not
Princess,
have the dice
Heart.
here, I'm sure Inzaghi, that's why they're confident enough to
Gamblers,
swap
Gambler
to
doesn't do
him.
much.
It's quite dangerous, you
But
know,
yeah,
you know,
from
facing
1
down
dice,
Sino
yeah, I mean,
with that
Inzaghi
many
can
stacks
easily
and
get
pyro application
plus
himself.
5.
One thing to note is that
So-
this is probably going to be Inzagi's
Okay.
best chance to potentially take out Sino, though, because he recognizes, like you said,
You can get free
that
actions.
there's no
You can
dice left
skill
on
and
the
a burst,
side. When you
which
play a
is-
deck like
NA?
this, you usually don't have
Oh,
a
skill,
lot of
yeah,
generation,
what am I talking
not to
about?
mention
Yeah.
he only has 2 cards left in hand anyway.
How come talent
So,
was
if
discounted?
there's any
Golden Troop
time
also
to
discards
take Sino
talent.
down, it is now.
Yeah, but here comes the Iron Wall. The Crab
Talent
is now
or
up on the
elemental
field,
skill.
22
Yeah.
shield and 4 HP on their own. Nuvolet is not going to be able to blast through this.
Actually,
You
Even-
get-
Inzaghi can
you
do
get
3
one more
actions.
NA as well.
Minty
So,
having
you
one
put
NA,
in
left,
everything.
still
and
able to
then
switch to the Crab before ending their turn.
Burst, you
to
can
make
go
sure
for
that Sino
Inzaghi
doesn't
can
get
go for
taken out.
Nuvolet Burst.
And even though Inzaghi does still have a little bit more dice in hand
yeah.
with that
Okay.
gilded, you're not gonna be getting through over 20 shield this
Do you
round.
stay?
Oh, and hey, we
I think you
even,
stay on
have
Crab.
not procced
Yeah, just stay on
Nasty in the
Crab.
middle of the game
Like
because it does not
Crab
proc
has a
off
lot
field,
of
so there we go, an extra
shield
dice of
stacks.
Minty, of
It's
course, so they're just
crazy.
gonna scoop it up into the Vanarana, use it for it.
You have to commit everything
Nuvolet
up
is
for
just doing
something.
anything
Yeah,
they
just go.
can to take this Crab out.
Burst.
This
Uh,
is looking like a pretty
actually, there's
bad
still one more board.
situation, but I don't
Um,
think
Oh,
it's
like, well,
completely
I'll take
over
it.
Lyre?
yet for
Do you Lyre?
Inzaghi,
No, I
because
don't think you Lyre.
although the
Crab too strong.
is
No, you don't.
arguably more difficult to remove
just go
than the
for
whale,
Gilded.
It also doesn't do quite as much damage as the whale consistently. So if
Okay.
Inzaghi can avoid
Gilded?
leaving Nuvolet vulnerable against Sino,
I think
he can actually
Nuvolet
slowly
can go
whittle
for
down
Burst
Minty's side of the
NA.
board.
Is that
Absolutely,
possible?
Crab, you know, only
I
does
think it is.
It's big damage through
How
its
many?
elemental
4?
burst, whereas
That's
Whale's the
4?
opposite. It does
Okay.
it through its elemental skill. So you know you
Burst,
need to make
NA,
sure you
does
take at
another
least 2
9.
actions on Crab to make sure
Leave
you can
Crab
get
on
you know
11.
that damage out, and we can see here.
Okay.
Inzaghi
Yeah,
goes
there's still one more
for
board.
the
More
elemental burst.
with-
That's pretty good. You know, as much
So you
as
can
this is a
equip
very
Gamblers.
profitable, for Inzaghi, I do like that you're able to
To
get,
Nuvolet,
some of the
100%,
source water
and then
droplets like
NA,
below
yeah.
Nuvolet, because
Before
without
5
having that
shield,
Nuvolet
and
can't
then
actually
Crab
do
goes
anything.
back up to 11
You're gonna
shield.
need those going into the next round when Minty has dice to perform actions again, just to make sure that Nuvolet will keep up in HP by healing
There you go.
himself. But it also means that he has
And then
spent
you
quite a
have
lot of his magic
nothing left.
engine
You
thus
have nothing
far,
left.
only having that Liar Song in hand
And
left to potentially
the one
generate
pack.
more dice next turn. And that means that Minty will have a lot less to worry about.
Minty doesn't need to worry about the freeze anymore. Unless fast swap to cube somehow.
You know, that was much more relevant when Undersea Treasure was around, but you know, not as much anymore, as much as it is a pretty card. But oh, here comes the end phase.
Less than
Sino
5, that's
has
fine.
transformed the spirit of
Minty has
and he's ready to
talent.
Did you
We
gamble
know
on
how
fast
powerful
swap?
Sino can be in this mode. His physical damage is just converted
You don't
to
have to
Electro,
gamble on
and then he
fast
just
swap.
gets
You have a lot of
B
dice
+2
anyway.
damage of base. Not to mention that
So,
having talent
I think
means
it's
that
fine
his
to
first
count
skill
on
every
it.
round gets another +2 damage.
Countdown,
It is honestly
yeah.
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
And it means that
movement
Inzhagi
anyway.
cannot
Yeah, there you go.
afford
Countdown.
to allow
Okay, let's see what you
Nuvolet
got.
to stand in front of
Oh,
Sino,
yeah,
but
fast swap.
guess
Oh,
what?
GG,
Minty
yeah.
just pulled out.
Yeah, you can see. Okay.
Look at that smile.
They're shaking their heads, so I'm not sure if that's a negative reaction or not. But
No,
fast
that's a
swap is kinda
positive
all you
one,
need
100%.
in this scenario.
Yeah,
They're gonna
just
throw
play
it,
everything.
everybody's gonna boom, boom.
Good
Inzhagi's like,
over.
oh, come on, man.
Very
Um,
quick. Even a pyro
yeah,
Red,
just
which
skill.
he
Yeah,
obviously
okay,
does not need
GG.
with that
Alright,
cleanup.
Minty
All
wins.
the other buffs from Sino, a single
Minty
hit
needs to
is
win
enough
one
to
more.
take out
Holy
Nuvolet.
crap. And then we get the
although it's not
bingo.
over
Yeah.
yet, I think
You
it's
can
pretty
skill-
safe to say
skill
that
if it hits
Minty
you, you
is
can NA
about
and
to
win.
clutch game number 3.
Assuming Inzhagi doesn't
Here we
actually
go.
use it.
Parametric
Which he probably
Transformer
doesn't
comes
because
out.
he's
Just try to be
giving
as
up.
efficient as your dice as possible. Gilded Dream, generate 2 more, and then go for the skill.
Yeah,
Sino
Sino's
is
dead, that's
down,
fine.
but it's
Go
Toma and
Crab.
versus the Cube.
NA.
Crab still has 11
Oh, no, wait,
skills,
it's skill.
so 15 HP in
Yeah,
total.
whatever.
This is
Crab
a lot
is
of damage,
OP.
but neither
Yeah,
does the Cryo
I
Cube.
cope.
So I think we all know who's gonna come out on top in this 1v1.
Absolutely, even gets the extra dice and the tenacity
no
of the
cryo.
Crab is gonna go for
NA.
another
Well
skill,
played, well
takes
played.
out the Cube
Nice.
revive. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
have
also
to do
wanted
at
him to
least
name.
so many skills.
Oh, yeah, because
oh, and the follow-up.
tenacity?
There we go. That's what I was missing.
I like how Toma
I
gets
forgot,
to
but yeah,
have the last
GG.
hit
Wow,
as well.
nice.
He hasn't really done all that much,
Woo,
but we
let's
all know
go.
how important he is to this team,
Yeah,
so
I knew
giving
it.
him a little bit of credit at
Okay.
the end with that Crimson
Comeback
Yoroi.
for
And that means
Minty?
that Minty
Wait,
is
this could go
currently
3-1.
at match
Maybe.
point.
I hope
Absolutely.
so.
It's gonna be very scary.
All right, we got Minty up here. I have to
If
do
the
give
ultimate
a
on
shout
my
out to
list.
Minty though. Again, this
Right,
is his very
Inzhagi
first,
already
like,
won
offline
the
tournament, hasn't had
his
large
Sai
tournament
Changyun
experience,
Herald.
and yet here he
Which
is.
means if
putting a
Inzhagi
player
wins
like
this,
Inzhagi on
then the
the
last match is going to
Absolutely. Here
be
we see
this one.
the
Herald Sai
Claymore deck, of
Changyun
course, featuring
against
Hydro,
Inzhagi's
Herald Sai, and
Double
Shogun.
Dragon.
Now, but this one is a little different
Ooh.
from the one that we saw in Inzhagi
Now that
play
can
earlier.
go
More
50-50.
specifically, what most people played last
Honestly.
match. This is using the
It sure does. So there's definitely
Ooh.
value
Oh,
with the other weapons, but obviously everyone wants
yeah, I
that
like this
Wolf's
list.
Gravestone. It's the whole reason
This
we
is
have
like-
the double Claymore characters in the first place. And
This
as
is
for
a standard
Inzagi's
one,
side,
okay.
this is
Double
going to be
hard.
the Sign Overload deck. Gonna be relying on cards like
Macaron
Pyro
is
Resonance, Prospector's
solid.
Drill,
Pretty good,
as
yeah.
well as
Like,
White
for
Glove, in
Sino,
order to just one-shot characters
It's really
off the
nice.
face
More
of the map.
protection.
absolutely.
More
the
heal.
only, sort of, Herald's Claymore
I
pretty
think he
consistent. It's also
deserves
just a really
to
powerful
be
deck.
at least top
there's a whole
4,
thing about managing
hopefully.
breakpoints in the TCG, which doesn't turn
Like, this
really
guy
useful for a lot of
deserved
players.
it. I mean,
Breakpoints
this
are
guy
basically,
beat me in wild
certain
cards,
thresholds
so
where you're
yeah.
not going to make it, or you need to make sure you change up what you're doing,
Oh,
otherwise
Golden
you're going
House
down.
full ramp.
Sino,
But
You can keep
man,
Golden House too.
Alright,
so
whatever.
much damage to where it doesn't matter anymore.
It's not really even a breakpoint
Ooh.
anymore. It's just what your max HP is.
okay,
in the
there's
He
a
already won.
countdown.
He
Since
already
a
won.
new round is
Nice.
starting, you guys know what that means. That means a raffle is
Hopefully in
gonna
I
be
would
countdown,
start with Black
Inzhagi
Knight.
will
Yeah.
get
Keep an eye on the chat.
And then
this is
the
only
drill
happening
for
on the
Sino.
YouTube
And then
channel
double white
of
glove
Astra
this
Carnival.
early?
So
That's
if you
really
guys are
good.
watching on any other channels,
You only
if
get
wanna
punished if you
join
get
the
double
raffle for
done.
Primo
You
Gems,
get like you
make
get
sure
one
guys go
done
over
and
there
then
and
you
check it out.
turn in.
Okay,
Absolutely,
let's see it.
just like
Oh, you
how
actually don't
fast
get punished,
of
never
Sino
mind. Yeah, just
overload
Wagner.
plays.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta enter that
Full
real
round,
quick. You
easy.
have a few
You got a
minutes
weapon.
to
He could've
get
got
in
punished.
there, and you
You
could
never
take
know.
home
You'll
one
never
shot.
know.
Timis,
Pretty
Wagner.
33% chance that he got
Quite a lot.
punished.
So it should be enough to get
Oh,
you
Jason,
closer
he
to
got
that
it.
new shiny character that you have your eye
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So make sure you guys go do that. For now
Sheesh.
though, Minty already getting a pretty strong
That's
start.
nice.
Going straight into
That's actually a
today's
nice
Wagner
start for
Live Event.
Minty.
There's no way you
Yeah,
feel
we were
skill.
talking about speed, and all the raffles and stuff, but this was a speedy start. They just went boom, 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 go, go, go. and they did end
Wait,
up drawing,
double
I believe
Wolfen?
that should be the Wolf's Gravestone on the left, and
Okay,
the Forge
maybe you
Regalia
kill
on the
soft
right.
skill.
Yeah,
Maybe
skill
you
swap
skill
We have
skill.
Inzagi looking at how they want to handle, you know, their whole
Do
opener.
you
Of course,
skill
they did
skill?
go for the countdown, and now they have not really what they
I
want.
think
you
you
know,
have
Sino
to.
Talent's
I mean,
great
look at
and
the
all, but no
hand.
ramp to really speak of.
Yeah, having Sino talent
I
early
think-
is
I think
great,
Inzagi
because
has
that means
to
you can play it on round 2.
skill
which is where
swap,
you usually
skill.
want Sino to
Yeah.
pop up. But not having any ramp besides that is really, really unlucky. The
No
protagonist
Discord watch
energy
party
kind of
there is
failing
in
Inzagi here.
TFT
Yeah, he's
server
feeling a little bit dejected, you can
where
see,
everyone
you can
is.
see. Now there is a line, but you know I'm not a big fan of it. There, the important goal that you want to make sure that you get inside the deck is making sure you get
Okay, there's-
overload.
I mean,
and
it's
so
either
there we go.
that or
Actually,
you
Inzagi
skill
plays the
swap
2 opens, uses the
Gambler,
Dea skill,
so
and
then
now
you
they
skill
should
swap
swap over to
Sino.
Sino
Yeah,
and go for
If you
a
do
skill.
if you do it now, you get an overload.
This will guarantee an overload
ball.
straight away, give you a ball from
Shouldn't
Chevrolet,
have used
so
talent.
it's unfortunately
There's
a
no
little
point using
bit
talent there. You just play
inefficient.
talent.
Yeah,
like
he
wrong.
could
in
have
the way that
kept
it works,
talent.
because you'd ideally
Surprise
want
your
to get set
opponent.
up, and even though that means that
by the-
Minty
by the
will take
time
some
you
damage
play
to start
Sino
off,
skill
he's
again,
going
yeah,
to have
that's
a better
true.
round 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, an overcharged ball will come out here. Inzagi should also be dropping gas,
white
shaking
ball.
his head like, I had to waste my 2 moments
Definitely
now? You gotta be
white
kidding me.
ball.
Double white glove.
Wasting
That's
Inzagi
pretty
both
good.
looks
weapons,
so
that's another
dejected.
thing, right? Minty
Even though
has
he
already
opened
seen
quite
that Inzagi
strong.
used both Wolfens on
Dude,
round 1.
Minty-
That means he doesn't have to think about it
Minty's feeling
anymore.
He's looking
confident
faded
going
there.
into this
You
game,
usually don't
100%.
want to give your
Like,
He
just
thinks
look at
himself
that
bad. He
opener.
just copied this game
Yeah, I'm
these
a little
guys say.
surprised
That
also that
opener
Inzagi ended up
does
playing,
is bring a
Sino
smile
talent,
onto
because
my
you always use that
face,
as a surprise
or
factor,
actually everyone's
against your
face,
opponent, but I
if
guess
you're
it's not
playing
gonna
this
change,
deck.
too much,
Yeah.
because Minty's already doing, once again, the strategy that I talked about.
I mean, there's not-
when
nothing much to
fighting,
think about
you know,
here.
decks that rely
Definitely
on
just
elemental
ends,
applications.
but-
Peeling
Tada.
off to someone like Song Yun that way.
Okay.
Really?
does not just immediately
This
get
early?
obliterated by overload.
Okay, more draw.
Inzagi
What's
even
he-
gonna be playing
What's
that
he looking
da
for?
there.
Drill? Is like
Unfortunately,
super
this has
desperate for
been
drill?
a very poor round 1 for a deck that
Early
really
draw.
wants to get started as
Really?
soon as possible. But
You
it
get
is
one
able
more
to
draw,
draw some good
so-
stuff in round 2.
Losing
He
one
should be able
Tada
to get
without
back into
freeze
it.
yet?
He's got double
I don't know.
strategize, so he
I mean,
can
there's still
search
fast
the
swap
deck
and
for stuff, but
Catherine.
it's still not the best.
Sure.
Yeah, hopefully Inzagi's going to be able to pull some stuff out of that. Here we go. Through the rolls, you know, what Inzagi would definitely be looking for is a Prospector's Drill. Just in general, even if you only have one overcharged ball, you know, it's such a powerful weapon, you know, which
Okay,
I'll
Minty
review
can do a
slowly
lot.
because it is quite a long description. But look
Like,
at
Minty can start off first
right
with
now.
Minty, like you
Herald
mentioned, did
skill.
actually end up getting a Wolf's Gravestone initially. Has Wagner
Yeah.
to play it for free. We already talked about how
Just go
the
for Herald
Wagner weapon
skill.
vendor can be a
Okay.
bit unreliable
Oh wow,
at times.
double Dunya.
Minty is clearly
Sheesh.
high rolling this game, having a
Holy
great
crap.
start.
There's
getting the weapon he
Timaeus.
wants, still
You can
having plenty
combine
of tools
Timaeus
play
to
around,
Golden
which is
House.
very, very
Dude, oh
important
my god.
Against a deck as strong as
Oh my god.
Sign Overload.
Yeah, Inzagi's actually just tilting
Okay,
over his head 'cause
Minty
he's quite
wins.
upset that,
Wait,
Minty
okay,
just
no.
put out another Timaeus.
I'm not
gonna say
Seed
that
box as
this
well,
early
because
yet.
you can guarantee
There's still
companions
chance
with Junior
for
Zagi
Inzagi
with
to win
guaranteed
this,
seed box.
but
So the fact
it's
that Minty has
blurry.
it is just frustrating.
Looking
Minty's
at
getting
Minty's
tilted
play,
by
Minty's hand,
Minty going
Minty's
well.
board, like, dude.
See, Wagner's so good.
Right now. He is straight up smiling
Minty can do a lot
because
in
of
this round.
the
It's crazy.
misfortune that he has had to face here of
Like,
not
Okay, I think
Damn.
he's
getting
back
cards
here
at
and then
all.
get a
Actually.
clean up.
And watching Minty pull out
Team up
everything he
skill.
could have ever dreamed of.
And what do
And
you
then you
do as
average
Inzagi?
Is simply part
I don't
of
know.
the game. It is a little unfortunate. It's why matchups end up
You
so
skill?
differently, even
Oh,
if it's unfavorable for
Okay,
you.
at least
Well,
okay,
strategize
at least
your
clean
And
up
then
two
clean up
skill
skill
that will
clean up.
trigger
Not
To
what you
pass up
want.
Kev.
the
do not
revive.
want to clean up right
Okay,
now.
not
The
bad,
mess
not
has
bad.
even been made yet.
No, okay, wait, there's gamblers.
No,
Indeed,
clean up is
indeed,
great
you know,
here.
called for
I think
cleanup,
clean up is
a
great. You just
card,
kill
but this is
the
not
herald.
Yeah,
and then you
skill.
do
Pop
pass
up.
up
You have to
Kev.
You use cleanup
you know,
I think
with
that's
this
it.
Herald now applying
And then
you know,
use
that's
cleanup
another piece
again
of
for
your
the
counterplay,
secondary
of course,
skill
targeting
with
Chunky. If you feel the
gamblers.
application, but
It looks
also
very
it pushes you
strong. It looks
directly
very
over into
strong.
Herald.
That's
and
not
now
bad.
Minty can just whack away with Herald's Hydro Blades.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the
How do you get
expense of
all his support
Inzagi,
round
everyone
2?
watching is
Yeah,
getting
he
It-
got
it
double
needs to
Junior
line
Zard.
them.
What the
That's
weakness
crazy.
of a deck
If
like
Minty
this
had,
would be.
he needed, if
It
Minty had
does
Herald
still hurt
talent,
quite a
then it would be
lot.
different.
6 damage.
Oh yeah, no Herald
immediately
talent,
proccing
but
Herald
This one is
Revive.
very strong.
Despite his his luck, Minty has not
This
actually
is-
managed to pull out.
So
a
gamblers
talent yet.
clean up,
So
that
there's
will
no
kill
curse of the
Herald,
undercurrent to further punish Inzagi.
and
There might be
then you
still like a
go
battle
But it's
Sayu.
still
for
tough.
next round.
Yeah,
but-
absolutely. Now, that's
Wolf's
nice that
Gravestone, there is
they're
Wolf's
able to
Gravestone,
talent.
so
I
skill,
wonder-
oh
okay,
dude.
this is completely
Dude,
not going to
why
happen.
do I feel like
Wonder if
Minty
Inzagi's
is
feeling a
gonna
little
sweep
silly, 'cause you can
round
actually
2
play,
or round 2
the overcharged
OTK
ball, which is
actually
available,
with
in Zagi's
Sayu.
hand
Dude,
as a
oh
combat
we might
action.
get a
Of course,
bingo
we'll pass
for
the
that
turn over, but it
actually.
will do
Wait,
a
hold
lot
up.
of
It could be
damage.
loaded,
Definitely
it
not
could be
worth
loaded.
it because
Loaded
you
might
would
knock
not
them
lethal
off.
Herald and they would still be alive. And they
It
push
could
on
also
Sino.
be-
Hold up.
Exactly what you don't want to do. So.
Yeah, that is exactly what you don't want to do because Sino right now has Hydro. You are giving Minty a free swirl, so obviously not something
If you
you want
keep
to
the
do.
10 ball, you get the
Inzagi
pyro
still has
on.
another
I mean, there is,
strategize
yeah.
to potentially try
It
to
should be
pull
good, right?
Lotus.
else out, but
Okay, there it is.
they really
Yeah.
just have so little to work with right now. Looks like they will just commit to
No,
Gambit
Wait.
and take
serious?
out Herald,
Wait,
so
do you
they
skill?
at least have something.
So that
You
is a
like
really
clean up
interesting
skill here?
play to go for because, of course,
That can't
playing
be right.
gamblers is going to be the fact that
Has to
Inzagi will
be.
go for the lethal here.
Yeah.
Now, what is interesting though is
That's-
that
okay.
I wonder if the reason
Okay.
they're doing it is because they're realizing that
Didn't see
okay,
it. Didn't
clearly,
see the line.
you know, Minty has such an advantage thanks to the ramp.
I mean,
so might start speeding up right now and
Oh,
go,
dude,
go, go.
Minty's gonna.
I think that is
This
the
is
right
not
approach,
Prince Cup
though.
Inzagi. Prince
Without
Cup winner
Herald
Inzagi
now,
here.
and
This
because
is-
of the undercurrent not having been applied,
I like
Inzagi
the
at least won't have to worry
tilt
about for the rest of the game.
I think this is
You
GG.
can see
not-
the most dejected expression I have seen on
I mean,
any
there is
player
still,
this
like-
entire
So defeated
tournament.
already, like-
As he
Lotus,
witnesses
but I don't
Minty
know.
refresh
Like,
his guild
dude,
entries
8
multiple
dice?
times
Okay, Minty has
in the same round.
3
Yeah,
actions
oh boy,
here.
that was
Okay.
Yeah.
certainly something. Getting
One
you know, the
action and then
maximum
two
value
actions.
boar Princess, Gilded
This
Dreams,
is
all of that
doomed.
jazz to just
Yeah,
spawn
Minty
the
just-
dice out the
just
wazoo. And
the
Zai's like,
same thing.
ah.
Man.
But it is, you know, as much
Okay,
as it was
but
definitely a pop-up,
technically there's
Minty's
a
definitely
lower
being favored right now. You have to
way.
remember that Gilded Dreams,
Okay, sure.
this is a
This is
limit,
cooked.
you know, using things like Liar Song and stuff is the only way they're going to be able to regenerate dice afterwards. So if Minty popped off a little too much here, they may start finding themselves in a tricky situation later on.
But they're in such a dominating position right now. No prospectors
Okay,
built
watch
to deal
Minty
with,
get
which
gamblers.
means you're not gonna have to
Or-
worry
okay,
about
any
overcharged balls
RTE
being
would
sent
be
your
really
way.
strong.
Yeah.
He has 8 dice compared to 2 on Inzagi's side. Even if a lot of them are
Okay.
not the best, he still has the hand
Alright,
cards to make up for it.
that's the last one.
And Inzagi is gonna be forced to use Lotus on Chevroos just to try and
Inzagi
take
ends
damage, 'cause
turn,
he's just got no
okay.
more dice left.
Let's see if Minty can sweep this round 2 OTK. Come on. Okay. Oh, strategize? Okay, there's hope for
Yeah, you already
gamblers.
did an action.
There's hope for
I counted
gamblers.
the
Wait,
action
hold
already.
up. Hold up.
They do not.
I don't think
You
a
may as well
countdown
try.
here. Obviously
I
not.
think it is
You can get another
gamblers.
one.
If
Strategize,
that
yeah,
was
okay.
then
Gamblers.
Minty
You
probably
gamblers.
has a
Ah,
chance
no
to just
gamblers.
win right here. Strategize not going to be able to pull it
Oh,
out.
no
So,
gamblers.
at least
Wow.
Inzagi
You can
will
golden house. You can
survive
golden
this
house.
turn,
Gilded
But I think
here.
Chevroos is guaranteed
Golden
to be going
House,
down.
yeah, Gilded.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's currently Gilded
Oh,
Dreams
man.
on
There's
side
still
that was
hope.
equipped, right, to generate
Okay, there's
so
still
much
hope for
dice.
Minty to get
Golden
gamblers.
house Gilded.
Gamblers, he needs gamblers so
For
bad.
gamblers with that strategize. No
Okay,
love,
come
but,
on.
the more Prince is still active.
Or
Just
actually,
one
is it
more
too
call.
late?
Strategize
Maybe it
did not
is.
pull out a gamblers, but it pulled out the
I mean,
second
either
gamble.
way,
So Minty able to get a
either
little bit
way,
more dice
one
roll.
of Inzagi's
Inzagi
character,
needs a
like,
perfect-
yeah, no matter what you do here,
Perfect
yeah,
roll.
yeah,
Follow-up
this is
will
cooked.
also lethal Dea. So
He needs- he
Inzagi
needs
now left
drill
in a
plus
1v2
tada.
situation
Plus
where
ball.
any attack from either
Okay.
character will take him out. And I
Wait,
think
no.
Inzagi already recognizes
No.
what this means.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lotus
You know,
does that.
Sino as much damage as
Yeah,
you
you're
can
right,
get.
Lotus.
Lotus,
you
yeah.
pretty much
He
need like
needs
Okay,
Lotus.
you need
frame
false
rate to even
still.
give
You
yourself
need false
a
Lotus.
chance
Lotus,
of making it out of this. And,
Fluff,
that's
maybe?
That's
I
definitely,
don't know if you
not
need
what
Fluff.
want to
Oh my
see.
god.
Sumeru Res, maybe
Dude,
you can
okay, there's
go
still
for
hope for
it, but,
Inzagi.
it's just
Sumeru
so
Rest, look
rough.
for, just look for,
Okay, but you can't.
Look
you
for
can't
Lotus.
strat- You can't
So
strat
much sooner
into
for
it,
Inzagi.
if you don't have enough dice.
Looking at him, I feel like he's already accepted
Come
his
on.
fate. Because remember,
No,
again,
but you'll be
viewers,
on 8 dice.
Minty
There's
is
no
at
woven
match
left.
point. He
You
can
can't use
win
both.
this
You can only
game,
use one of them.
eliminate
And
Inzagi
you can't
in
use Lotus
round
if you use one of them.
1 of the Prince Cup knockout
Come on,
stages. The
Inzagi.
underdog story coming true.
I think you always
in
lose
a
here. You actually always lose
completely
here.
unexpected
Oh, man.
outcome.
You need drill.
Yeah, let's see.
Drill-
what Inzagi
drill
do
can
here. The
save
line
one
will be
action.
First to strategize.
Yeah,
You
this
could
is
even
cooked.
go as far
Might as
as
well
to
go
play-
for
actually
strategize your mirror rest.
so Tada will not be
Just
Okay, I think this is it.
just go for it.
I think
Just go for it.
But let's see
Okay,
if
no, it's
Mirror
just over.
Resonance
Go
can
next.
save us here.
There's
It
no
seems
next.
like
It's just over.
playing that double
Man.
white glove earlier may have actually hindered Inzhagi. He just did it because I have nothing else to play.
The
I may as well
mirror rest,
put
pause,
these in
fast
now.
swap,
But it means
pirate.
that they are
One die
diluting
short
his
for
strategizers.
R2OTK.
He's not
Yeah.
getting the cards
Man,
he
I was so
really
close
needs.
on getting
Yeah,
bingo,
'cause if you
man.
don't know, White Glove, unlike Undersea Treasure, which
And
goes
look for
evenly
Grill
into your
Flop.
deck, the White Glove
So
goes
close.
into the first 5
If you
cards
get Grill
in your deck.
Grill
so
Flop,
every time, of course, you
just
draw
win.
2
It's the
every
only
round,
way
so
you
that
win here.
chance comes more and more and more relevant.
Drill flop.
The fact that we
Okay.
haven't seen a single Prospector's drill this entire game is a tragedy. Seriously, Inzhagi
If it's Merit and gets
living
drill
out his
flop,
worst
he wins.
nightmares,
If
I
not,
could imagine.
he loses. It's
And
the only
sometimes
out
that is
here.
just the
Look,
nature
you can never
of
win with floaters
competition.
or
I think
anything
Minty
else.
has actually put up an incredible performance. Obviously, luck still plays a factor, but unless you are a
Oh
player
yeah,
that can at
true.
least
You have to get the
You
drill
need to
because
keep
you
the
have
ball, you need to keep the
Tada
ball.
understanding
into
a
the
game
You need them
even
to
that
the
win.
overload
wouldn't make
ball
enough
or the
of a
overcharge
difference.
ball, yeah, and then you
Timer
can
is
snipe.
starting to
Yeah, you can
wind
double
down.
kill for
You
Inzhagi.
have 5
Oh, just
cards.
hope.
You
Oh
can
god,
draw
Inzhagi's
one and then
crazy.
you have
Okay,
5
four.
cards. You can
Wait.
still
Fluff. Wait,
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 wait, wait,
wait,
There's
wait,
one.
wait,
You only
wait.
use drill.
No, wait.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
get the
so,
drill.
Okay, let's calculate,
Oh my
right?
god.
Okay, Chongdon's already
Oh
in
my
lethal,
god.
right? I
Wait,
believe
hold,
you
Okay,
can
pause.
just quick
Inzhagi
on
is
Sinus, we're
like
gonna be able to
easy.
refresh
Wait,
the dice.
I
and
think
then
it's
from there-
possible.
Let me see here, right? There's
Oh
no
shit, I think it's
pyro application
possible.
on Sinus.
There's no
Hold the
application
phone.
inside you.
The
That's
chances
the
are
problem.
high.
Inzagi's
The chances are
already
high.
spent a little bit.
Hold.
I can't
He
remember
sends
if
back-
he has
Inzhagi
a
has to
second
pray
one.
for this.
That might
Clean
help
up.
a
If he wants to
little.
bring this to game
A
5.
fresh wind
They're all used
is
here.
finally
Does it do
a card
exactly
you can
8?
actually use.
You need 8 damage?
to
Yeah, you do way more than that.
maybe
You do 8.
make a difference.
Yeah.
Oh,
What you do
man.
here is
NA,
definitely
that's
get rid of
10
Tada, get rid of Fast Swap.
And then-
Yeah, NA,
Let's see here.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, get rid of Pyro as
Just
well.
do it, just
Tada-
do it,
Oh,
just
he
do
got
it.
it! He got it!
Okay.
He got
We can
it!
do this. We can do
He
this.
actually got it!
got it.
GG!
got it.
Oh my god, he actually
Okay,
got
you
it.
really need to make
Yeah.
sure it doesn't mess up
Hey,
with
you can
talent.
refresh. That's
I mean,
fine.
what did I say? Yeah, the chances were very high.
Not out. Can we do the
Like, getting drill is easy with severe resonance.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
that,
first
it-
off,
That's
you know,
why
I
I'm
mean,
going
still,
down,
but
very
yeah.
easy to do.
Holy
But
crap.
we're also going to make sure
Mess up.
first we play
Okay,
Fresh
can't mess up
Wind,
anymore.
and then we're going to add Prospector's Drill on top of that, and then we're going to.
Okay,
Inzhagi
has to plan this carefully.
It's going to deal yourself.
You don't
one
want to
damage,
screw this
and then
up.
It's going to force the overcharge
Just
ball
NA.
to come
You
out
said that,
and
NA.
be tossed at Sayu.
Yeah,
Now, of
NA,
course,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
just
that's right
NA.
because
No point in
Prospector's- sorry,
skilling.
I'm stumbling over words. There's
Yeah,
so much
NA,
happening here, but
Tada.
Prospector's
NA,
Drill is
good.
going to take the
Oh,
highest
no,
cost
wait.
card in your
NA,
hand, of course,
exactly.
being the Chevron's overcharge ball. Now the question is, can
He's
Inzagi? Oh,
taking
the second
double.
Sumeru Res though.
Taking
Can
sure.
Inzagi
Why are
actually
you
pull
thinking
off
so
all the
hard?
damage needed
Just
to go
NA.
to 10 HP? I
Okay,
think
it doesn't even
possible.
matter if you skill.
It
You
is
can
actually
skill
possible.
too. Like,
No,
it doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
NA, sure.
Yeah, Chongyun's gonna go down.
Or
You have
skill.
Fresh
Was
Wind,
that
so you'll
skill?
continue
Okay,
your
whatever.
turn.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you will do quite a lot
Drill.
of damage. I
Inzhagi's
think
the game.
they
Tada.
just really need a pyro
And
then
skill
GG.
they can actually do
Yeah.
with Tada on themselves so that the Prospector's Drill will throw it
Wow.
Just do
unless
it!
it throws the weapon.
You
which
missed
would be
this.
very
I don't know
unlucky.
how.
Yeah, so let's do, once again, I'm going to do a recalc here. So we already expended talent because Sino's already done a elemental skill, I believe, right? So there we go. Prospector is now available. We have
Yeah.
the skill, which is already Sino's now awakened because he has 4 stacks, so 3 plus 2. So
Yeah,
that's
he
five,
got it.
And now we do the Prospector.
Wow.
Throw the ball.
Alright,
It throws the
you got
ball.
it.
Okay.
You got
Right,
it.
now that adds
Wow.
two
Took so
more
long.
damage, right? So we're
Wow,
5
wow.
plus 5 plus 2. There we go. Oh, no, it's 10. We still have the
Wow.
other damage boosters.
Unbelievable.
And the Prospector-
What
my
a
goodness.
comeback.
Sorry for
Good
such
job,
a
good
chaotic
job.
cast, but oh my
What a
goodness.
comeback.
This is actually the
He's
ultimate
so
turn.
That
Look
was
at
so
Inzhagi.
close, but yeah.
Oh my God.
The relief.
I mean, I pretty much
With
predicted
his
it
face.
that
But we love
definitely thought he was
emotions
losing.
that this man must
I pretty much
be
predicted it that
experiencing
Inzhagi
right
will
now.
win
That
that.
is the look of a man.
But
under
man, that was so
extreme
close.
stress.
That was so close. If Minty could have got gamblers
energy
on round 2,
still exists
man.
That's the look of a man.
I cannot
Man,
believe it.
he
that
could have
did
got
that.
that round 2 OTK.
and then the heart of the cards responds to his pleas.
Absolutely. It is going to be the underdog boost versus the reigning
Oh,
champion.
boy.
Let's see what you
Inzhagi, because when you're playing this deck against a deck that's faster, it can't quite keep up. And when you're playing against something like Crab, unfortunately, Neuvillette will still have some trouble. Not a good feeling, is it?
Right,
So,
alright, I'm
yeah.
gonna map it out.
Oh man.
Alright,
last
Such a
game
such a
for this
wonderful
set.
visual there.
I'm not-
Herald
Who will
Talent
rise
Team won a golden
and
troop
who
as well.
will fall?
Countdown and strategize
Will Minty
and
rise and
live.
Inzhagi
Oh,
fall?
goodness.
This
Or will it
is
be the
once again
opposite?
pretty
Oh
nice
boy, either
opening
way,
hand
I'm
for
really
Minty.
nervous for
I can't
both
say,
of
but
these
Minty's
players.
that good.
Could maybe
Because
get
these
rid of
players
Strategize
are
You got
pretty much
DP.
represent Southeast Asia, so
Could even keep their
Definitely
whole
good.
hand.
it just
As for
hurts, you know, to
Inzaghi,
see
like
that
one
someone
card
this time, that's what
from
they
Southeast
wanted to
Asia,
do.
you know,
Everton
But
going
decided
if you
home,
get Dune Liven,
going
you're still
down,
overdrawing. I mean,
getting
that's
kicked
hard to
out
predict.
in this tournament.
You know, to all this because
But I'm
even if
honestly
you
rooting for
really want
Minty
I think
because
it can
Minty
be way
deserves
over.
this.
card that's 3 aligned cost.
What?
Liven
What do
is
you mean,
really
no?
the
I
core
think
of
it's
it all.
fine.
Of course, all you need to do is skill on the character that
I
you
want
want
to
sit on
take,
for
but-
as long as possible, and then Liven can
Ping-
scoop up the rest.
Liven
In game
continuing to
6,
be a
plus
very
6 HP
crucial
for free.
card, even from the very
From nothing.
beginning. The
And
early
then
days of
I
Genshin
lost.
TCG.
I lost like
But
-4. He
Again,
gained 10
countdown to the show pulls out Wolf's
It's like
Gravestone.
10 HP
Well, he
dead.
doesn't really
from-
need an
from-
extra
just
life.
from
Come
the
on,
game.
Minty.
Yeah, Inzaghi is right now. He's just waiting. He's
You
looking at the
lost
camera, so you
8
better not
HP
pull
for
this
fun.
Gravestone. Don't do it. Don't do it to me, man. Come on now.
Only he knew.
Be strat.
If only he knew. I'm sure he will
Seriously?
eventually. Now, Minty's calcing out the line. Did expend an extra dice to the, what is it called? The float is going to be a little awkward. There we go. And let's see what we got. Okay, Wagner's.
If they do play Wagner's, though, you won't be able to fully feed Liven this turn.
Okay,
Unfortunately, nothing like
so this is gonna be
Seed
hard,
wants to
'cause
able
I
to
am
help out
playing
with
the,
that.
You didn't have
Minty's
to.
gonna
tournament
make
right
it
now
out of
Why
this
do we-
in
I-
GITCG
Yeah,
Discord
thankfully, I
server.
think Minty should be fine
You
here
could have
because they do
Golden
have
House
Wagner's
with
and
them.
Okay,
Golden House to
wow.
make sure,
Yeah, need it.
that
There's
they're
all
gonna
di-
make sure to
only
toss out
Liven.
Liven to make sure they don't
There's
overdraw.
Wagner
Inzaghi
with
does
Golden
sense
House.
it.
Okay.
He was
could
nodding
be
his
sure.
head. He was basically saying, okay, this is fine. This is acceptable. Did he make a mistake?
No, I think he should be.
Yes.
Ah,
okay,
man,
because it's
I
like
don't
Dinner's
know.
on
Oh,
into
Inzaghi
Liven,
died.
and you pull out Timaeus. Maybe they were hoping for something else. There we go. Oh, okay, very nice.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering what that reaction
Oh,
was
Inzaghi also
about.
high
I feel
rolls.
like we may have missed something.
back.
It could be
Skill
the
pass?
Back
right?
from
You
the
already
dead.
talked about it a
Oh,
lot. You know, this is actually something
dude.
Inzaghi already
Oh,
talked about in his
dude.
player interview, right? Got knocked out early, very unfortunately. You know, just got unlucky. It was the Kave Whale deck that knocked him down to the lower bracket. And then from there, like Minty said, why, you know, they have a little bit of fear going this, not only because of the Inzaghi being a Prince Cup champion, but also the fact that Inzaghi did not drop a game in the losers bracket of the
Inzaghi
online
was like
series. That
at
is
150 at some point.
insane to do that.
No
It's
match
the
for
lower
me.
bracket meta, basically.
I don't think he
Inzaghi seems
did. He
to
go up to
perform the
160.
best when he's pushed into a corner, which is exactly
he can
what
match
a
my
shonen
honored self.
protagonist should be. So continuing to live up to that title for now. But let's have a look at what kind of dice rolls we can expect from them in round
Minty's
2.
playing well.
Yeah, once
Minty's
again,
playing
just
well
give
for
them
sure.
their time to think about
Very
it.
on
You know,
point.
it may seem like, you know, these players, you know, like they're not doing anything on screen, but they have so much to think about because you got to remember, you know, even up here as casters, you know, we're talking about what's presently happening. We are looking a little bit ahead, but players need to calculate like 3 lines ahead or 3 turns ahead
Dude,
about
today
what's
is
going to happen
bad.
next.
This
Especially
Inzaghi guy.
when one mistake could cost you the entire
Oh wait, it
game.
wasn't Inzaghi. It was.
It's
sorry.
a very
Oh,
tense
shit.
situation.
Never mind, this
I
Minty
really
guy.
could not imagine myself doing it. That's why I'm up here instead. But Inzaghi did end up getting some good stuff. Already actually having that double parametric once again. Not too sure if he'll play those together the same way he did previous. Ooh, another gilded
very
too.
nice.
So Inzaghi's hand looking way healthier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, there could be some other things that could swing, you know, Inzaghi into a better favor, but I'm not going to complain about 2 free gildeds. It's going to be plenty of dice generation to match off against Minty, who also would have something similar in kind, but of course now, this time around, Minty is having more weapons than they do artifacts.
But I think it is pretty even. Inzaghi
His
has a
gildeds
little
have
bit
been
more
gilded.
overall,
2
but
gildeds
Minty
are
can
in the
match that
deck.
by having the Wolf's
It would have been like
Gravestone
Sayu Talent
and
or Rhythm.
the Herald Talent in hand, prepared to play at any time. It does
Okay.
look like Inzaghi is going to go ahead and go over to Aston.
Or if you wanna compare it to
He's gonna be
Inzagi's build,
looking
it could've-
to absorb
it
the
could've been
cryo
Para.
that is on the Herald.
Yeah, that's definitely great to have. You want to ideally absorb, you know, cryo on Asia because that's how this deck has been played. Even when it was back with Layla, you always want that cryo on Asia. So you have 2 forms of cryo application and make sure that Nuvlet can have a super clean endgame.
Nuvlet has been having trouble finding that clean endgame so far, so let's see if this is going to be the game where it does end up happening.
I mean, you want to look at it
Inzaghi
different
going
way.
to take
The
his time to
Wagner
think
he
about
got
it
from
just a
Dune would
little
have been a
bit.
dead
The
card
obvious
right
play
now
is
as
to go
well.
for an attack, absorb the cryo, even proc the revive. But if Minty does have Herald Talent in hand, that could mess
Like
with
it
the
would have been a
number of
turn
actions Inzagi
before it would
has
have
left
been
this round.
the second Timaeus. Both of which are
Even
useless right
throw
now.
out the guild as
Or
well.
I guess
They've
the
been running
second
really
Timaeus
well. Might as well
technically
continue the
could have been
trend. 12
usable.
dice to work with. Let's absorb that crowd. Now we've been talking a lot about Inzagi, right? But looking over at
Well, most
Minty's
likely
side,
would
they
have
don't
never
really
played
have
it.
the similar capabilities to generate so much dice like Inzagi is. Now I do wonder, you know, how much are they going to be able to do here, because Herald simply falls to this skill and then needs to do, you know, a little more on Inzagi's side, but Herald is definitely going to fall within this turn.
Herald Talent
That's
looks
going to
very,
be
very nice.
unfortunate, but as long as you get the curse of the undercurrent,
Like, Inzagi's dice
quote
quality is so good.
And
It actually
I'm
comes
going
up
to eat
to-
my words because Minty just drew Gilded anyway.
Well, at the very least, he doesn't have easy ways of discounting it. I am looking. Actually,
when
no,
he
that is
flips.
a golden house in hand, right? So golden house with Timaeus would actually discount
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
He
no,
is flipped.
Minty's going
What?
for a counter line so that way they can stop Age to Hut.
I'm
not sure if I like the song,
by
I'm not gonna
using
lie.
their Chongyun skill. But from there, what
that's
else are you
cool.
gonna do? I do wonder if they go for
I
that
do not
golden
even
house
bother.
into Gilded Dreams, because if you don't know, Timaeus does not
You
need
just-
to be
yeah,
the
you just
maximum
card
stacks
skill here.
Yeah,
to
you just card
recost your
skill.
artifact. It just needs to be what is currently available. So golden house will reduce Gilded Dreams by 1, and then Timaeus is able to scoop up the rest, and that is a free Gilded Dreams for you to use.
It's a very handy feature of this card here.
I think there were a lot of
which
ideas.
can make
You
up
could have
actually for the nerfs
stayed
that
on
Liar
Herald
Song
and went for
received
skill.
recently in order
I
to
think that was
keep
the
the
biggest
magic
thing, right?
Okay,
engine
where were
going.
we?
And I do think it's a good
Oh,
idea. Minty
curse?
sees that Inzagi has a
Okay.
good amount of dice, could potentially
Yeah,
even generate
skill-
more this
skill
turn, so making
burst,
sure they're able
maybe?
to keep up in dice economy will ensure that they're not
There's
forced
Gilded
into a
as well.
hyper-defensive position.
Oh, freeze. Okay.
Yep, and there we go. Minty
Yeah, I'm
makes
not
sure
paying
make
attention
max
to this
efficiency
match,
of the golden troops.
but I must
So
say,
what's
both
working
of these
about
players
playing,
right now
golden troops,
are
they need
rolling
to
really
make sure
good.
that you
Like,
use
they're
it first
having
before you do any
great
other,
start. Like,
Gilded
look at
Dream
their board
shenanigans. You
state.
cannot
That's
keep,
crazy.
that dice
back
reduction as long as you
to
take off
go
the
back
artifact.
cube,
But there we go. Age to Hut is
and
now
a burst.
frozen. Inzagi still did the right play.
He's
I
pretty
think, you
good.
know, make sure you just apply cryo to everyone. That's always your #1 game plan inside Double Dragons.
Yeah, I think I like that.
We can see that Minty
Of
has not
Minty NA.
used Sayu yet this game, wanting
But
to
that's
make
so
Minty NA,
sure
you can
that
stop
it will be
Noob
difficult
and
for
kill.
Inzagi, or at the
You can
very
kill
least,
strong.
not within the
I
efficient
think it's pretty
line.
good. And then,
To
and then he has
reapply
no
cryo
aura.
onto
He has
her,
no
'cause
aura
she
to
is
work
going
with
to be the
after
main
that.
carry here.
This-
Only
I
having
think that
one
would be
Wolf's
quite
Gravestone
favored
in this
for
deck
you.
means that you're not going to be able to enable
Now you
both
can
Sayu
no
and
longer do
Chongyun the same way that other
you
Hero
can no longer
Claymore
do that.
variants would.
Yeah, and once again,
I mean,
we
you
see,
can
you know,
still
why
do that
Inzagi
because
doesn't
you
like
have a
freeze,
four
because in
stack
this
left.
scenario, assuming
Oh,
Age was not
true.
unfrozen, we can use
Just
Seed Box
actually.
into Parametric, do a
Does
skill,
it.
and then Chongyun, you know, in kind would skill right back, and then you could skill another time and have another 3 dice and be able to continue your turn. But this
I'm not
freeze
sure
is
if I like that
stopping
shot, though.
all of that game plan in its tracks.
Yeah, it
Okay, since it
is
is
really
A,
good for Minty
Good,
that he
good.
was able to freeze as the Huh here, because Inzagi, like you mentioned, would have a lot more ways to
think
generate
if
dice.
you're
They'll
Minty,
have
you have
another
to,
Gilded for free, have the Parametric,
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
enough
But then
action
you
this
can-
turn
you can
between
swap
him
off
and Minty
afterwards, or
to
you can,
get
like,
that
kill,
proc as well.
I
And
feel
if,
like
as the Huh was
Minty
available
is
to
at-
take advantage of
it's
all
at
of those dice, Minty would
disadvantage a
basically
lot. Oh,
lose
swap,
on the spot.
okay.
And people might
No
ask,
live
oh,
and
why not
toss.
Inzagi do that?
Oh,
But with
could
people
play
like that,
Wagner
well,
instead.
without
Okay.
too
That's
late,
also
it doesn't
fine.
quite
That's
do
also
as
fine.
much.
Yeah, because if
Yeah,
he
absolutely. You
NA,
lose a
then
lot
you
of
get to
damage,
skill.
you know, when you don't have that catalyst equipped in Minty. Just went for the line that I suspected,
Yeah, I
because
actually
now
like
that
this.
Inzagi's on
Good
Cryo
play,
Cube,
good play.
of course Inzagi has plenty of dice
I mean, he
to
doesn't
swap around
actually
and
have it,
has the
does he?
Gillen Dreams and Liars on combination, but Minty's
then-
immediately
But
going
he
to
has-
go
he has Golden
for the
Hot- no,
last
he has Golden
remaining
Hot
hydro
Gilded.
application they have available and try
Oh,
to get that
Timaeus is
Cryo
into
Cube.
it.
Looks like they're willing to take
Okay.
it.
I think Inzagi is perfectly fine with
It's-
this.
it's cryo-
because so
cryo on
far
everyone
it has been very
again. Okay,
difficult
hydro on
for him
everyone.
to actually
Okay.
get Sayu vulnerable.
Battle
So
between gods.
trading the applications on
win
their main
is
carries
hard.
seems like a worthy trade for him right now.
Yeah,
I
pretty
feel
much.
like
You know,
Sayu
there's
is
this whole
advantage
idea
in that
way
case,
back
but-
when Shenhe was first introduced.
Okay.
You know,
Inzagi
because
gets
that
one
had
more
the Animal
die,
Swirl doing multiple
which
types of
is
damage, just
the
trying to deny
para, which is,
reactions, but thanks to the existence
quite
of, you know,
nice,
Sayu
quite
and then
nice,
Cryo Cube
say the
being
least.
just a tank.
That actually
You know, at some point you just have to consider you can't wait anymore and you need to start moving.
That's exactly what Inzagi is doing, and
Good, good.
Minty gonna
That
go
makes
ahead
sense. Yep,
and
yep.
go for that Golden
Yeah,
House
if you
Timaeus
Wagner next
play
round
to
for
get the
weapon.
Gilded for free, thereby giving himself an additional action, and that will confirm a
Alright.
Hydro application onto New Valette as well.
Yep, there we go. A nice draw into another golden house. Minty is going to be able to play their next weapon for at least one cost. Super duper useful to have something like that.
Dagger rolled well.
Now that
Now you
Minty
can
has actually been able to
this
swirl
first
Hydro
into
onto
the
Aztara and New Valet,
Want to say
there's
you're going
actually
to move the golden house?
to
Not fair.
use Chongyun as the main carry instead of Sayu, since that Wolf's Gravestone has been held in hand this whole time.
Oh, this is
and hasn't
intense,
been equipped.
man.
Maybe
So
it's just
Minty
Burst,
has that flexibility
okay.
of deciding
Could be
who's going to
probably
be his
Burst,
really
parametric
accurate.
ramp.
Absolutely. I definitely agree, but
You
also
got-
disagree with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
round
burst,
because with the other version where you
parametric
only
pass,
ran
yeah.
2 Wolf's
I
Gravestones,
guess,
Chongyun
sure.
and Sayu never had to
Yeah,
fight
probably
over
just move
who
the-
gets the big popsicle
Probably-
stick of doom, right?
Uh-huh.
The
So in
play
this
here
deck,
for
they
Inzhagi.
do. So
That was
I
still good, man.
personally still do prefer the previous deck list a little bit. I do feel
Kill
like
good.
the Wagner banner can be
Oh yeah, killing
disappointing
this better.
sometimes, and
You're right.
both
Oh.
characters
Just
with
always
Wolf's
been.
Gravestone do a lot of pressure. But Minty does seem to
Yeah,
like
sure,
this
kill them.
version a little bit more, and so far it's going well, but will it be able to close things out for him?
Do it. No
Yeah, Inzagi's
problem.
redoing some calcs. Like I said, the parametric line is a little messed up because
I mean, I
you know
think
Inzagi
it's-
probably isn't feeling that Minty has more gilded, but you always have
But
to
yeah,
account for
there's
the
no point.
possibilities
Yes,
using
there's a
lines, and that's how
point,
you have to
but
play
not
the
really.
team
Inzagi
and
hasn't
abilities that you need to
drawn
consider that
that
hey,
much.
it could happen and
Okay,
it totally messes
killed
up my
them,
chroma
good.
strategy. But they should be going for the elemental burst. There we go, boom, and now
still
they
has
can
a
burst
probably
stack. What
apply
happened?
cryo to Herald as well.
That's going to be a pretty good position now that the
Oh,
burst
did-
has
did
been
Asher
used.
use
Cryo
Hydro?
Cube as
Yeah, I
well
remember.
is no longer
Yeah.
really important. So Harold and Cryo Cube are both going to be just characters that the players are looking to throw away to try and pivot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can
There's a
actually
point
start
where
with cube
revives
skill
cannot
here
push you through
and
the
get away
game
with
any
it.
longer. You're gonna have to rely on your damage carries to really push you through the
You really
game.
need
Minty
to
I
follow
think
covered
that
and
I-
one Herald.
It's a little
say,
uncomfortable, but I think that
Oh, wait,
Inzagi is in a pretty good
I
position
thought
with
Asher
Cryo
had a
applied to
7,
both of
doesn't
the
he?
opponents.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so as well.
Oh,
We know
Nice.
that New Valet still doesn't have
Minty
too
probably has
much
a
to
better
them,
one.
but Freeze
You
is still a
have to
pretty
Okay, the thing is,
powerful
Minty has
reaction.
2
I can't really
characters
remember if
that
Minty's
can
deck is
beat.
running.
They can freeze. That's
And
the
he
part.
and he has
It's
dropped more than
not.
Inzagi, and he has the
yeah,
curve.
if
I feel like
Inzagi is able to get
Minty has
freezes
the overall
out
advantage
comfortably
here.
onto
No, I
Minty's
think
characters,
once
then-
elements are on
well,
everything, it's
Tila
like-
Tila.
There, we love to see it. Inzagi, you know,
Double
very
wire.
much locked in, not leaning back in his chair anymore. He knows this is the last game that could be possible, and the rolls have
Oh,
been pretty
boy.
kind to him this time around.
Burst back.
Unlucky roller tag finally
Oh,
abolished from
really?
this world. It is time
I think
to
the burst
do
was
or
good. It's
go
a lot of
home.
damage.
And it is a
And you
very
get-
Don't be
evenly
too
matched
cryo
duel right
super
now.
optimistic.
Minty even was able to draw the double liar
Oh,
song
the idea
themselves.
being that
If
if you
this
just
was in
count down and they
previous
go
patch,
Herald,
that
you
would
get
be
it
very
anyway.
powerful. A little
So the
less
difference is
powerful this
just one
time, but
damage.
means that Minty will still have enough dice to play around with.
The breakpoint doesn't matter
Positioning
for
going to be very
Herald.
important now, because
Okay,
if Sayu and Chongyun get frozen
No,
in
that's the
front of
thing,
New
yeah.
Valet, then you will lose the
Herald would be at
ability
Q
to
tier, which
disable
wouldn't change much.
Inzagi for this turn.
Yeah, oof, you know what,
I
I
can
just
see the
gotta stop
argument.
claiming things because unfortunately Inzagi did not get
Just
very lucky
liar
this turn, because
gilded,
ideally
start
you would go to
figuring
New
out.
Valet and you can at least do one skill to make sure
I
that
already
Minty
have free
characters
gamble as
stay
well,
down, because of course they will likely stay on Herald, so it's maybe okay. You would swap to Aishtaha and then just do maybe a
Or
little
if you
1-2
want,
punch,
you can get
but
a
then from
cheap
there, you know, once Herald goes down, Sayu and
Oh, you can
Chongyun are
feast
ready
it,
to roll that Wolf's Gravestone
as well.
lying in wake.
But you can also just kill.
Yeah.
Good point.
And
No difference.
if you want to keep New Valet healthy as well by finishing Herald with
It should
Cube
just
or
kill.
Azlaha, both of
Right
them
now,
are
yes.
underneath the Wolf's
could he
Gravestone
Yes,
threshold.
he definitely has enough
And if
time.
you combine that with Gamblers, you would effectively be giving Minty dice for free, which is what you want to
I feel
avoid.
like you would want
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. You already get
You would
dice
just want
from
more
a
Hydro
Gilded
here.
Drinks Liar Song and the
Need fast
Boar
ball.
Princess.
Hydro
Don't give them
freeze.
more than they already need.
So Inzagi will be forced to make a choice here. From his perspective, there isn't going to be a correct answer.
Okay,
He
he's
just has
probably
to
thinking
choose
about if
something,
he wants to
stick to
skill
it,
on
and
cube
hope
or
that
not.
it ends up being
Pretty
the
sure
most
don't.
effective one for him right
So
now.
you just put the gilded on
Absolutely.
you.
I think ultimately Cryo Cube is the one that you're going to be wanting
You've gotta
to
play count on this
sacrifice,
round
because
as
at the
well.
end of the day, you know, Cryo Cube still has that revive, so you're going to be able to
But
avoid
you
the
wanna do it
Gambler's
after
chain
Para
for at
first,
least
with the
one
NA here
turn
first,
before
get frozen, then
things
count
start to
down.
get a little difficult for you.
Yeah, I do agree.
Or you could count down now for hard.
Inzagi
You will
gonna
probably be able
take
to
his
afford.
time. He has been able to generate a bit more
Yeah.
dice, but that is basically
did
all
we
of the
play that
magic
Gilded
engine that he
Drinks?
has in this deck.
Just to
Yeah,
make it
honestly,
He's
easy.
not able to
just
make
play the
a
guild. Just
definitive
play your count
play
down.
this
Just play your count
turn.
down, I think.
Minty
I think
will
it's
start
better.
taking over.
Yeah. Another reason that
I think it's
Inzagi
better
was
to
taking
take
a little
now.
bit is that there is only one Gambler's inside this deck, you know, or at least available in their hand. So once the Cryo Cube goes down, you know, once again, they still have another turn, a little bit of padding, but unless you get that liar sign, they're not going to spend on something like Gamblers. You know, it's going to be Nuva versus the world. Even this is the second parametric as well, right? So.
Wait, who's winning? Oh no. Okay, Inzhagi wins, I think. Oh man.
Will be able to generate more dice for themselves and make sure that they get something if Chongyun is taken out. The revive on the cube will be burnt out there, and it will be left frozen, which means that Inzagi with no quick swap will be forced to slow swap to another character, and all of them are at risk of being frozen by Chongyun.
It's quite ironic for the fate of Cryo Cube to fall to being frozen, but it's
pretty weird.
It's pretty weird, but let's see here now. It is the bait and switch situation. Can Inzagi go to H safely? We know that they can.
Oh yeah, you're right. You need one more die.
Let's see if they're willing to go in for that play.
No, you have NA. You have NA.
Inzagi's gonna have to make a smart choice here. Gonna go ahead and pull.
Strategize, but it's not what you want. You want that fast swap. Then leave it to me.
You need the quick swap. There is no way to break out of this stalemate outside a quick swap unless Inzagi wants to just sacrifice Cube and as the hub by switching between them. Until Minty runs out of dice, which feels bad, but could be a
or you just kill.
Oh wait.
You can kill too.
Minty can freeze everyone here.
I don't know.
If I were Inzhagi's spot, I would probably
play. No fast swap for Inzhagi.
Because it feels too much.
Wait.
You know, too much.
Burst is coming as well. Yeah, he has Larstone, Gilded, Golden House, dude. Oh god.
Do you want to keep digging?
This is gonna be so close, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Do you want to keep
what does he have left in deck? Depending on what he left in deck,
know.
you can play it. I don't think it's
probably
good,
wouldn't
though.
at this
Just
rate.
Yeah, if you keep digging, you'd be left at 5 dice. And we already know Inzagi spent all of their hyper magic engine. They're not gonna get any more this round. May have to just commit to the switch play.
Yeah, make sure to pre-play Boar Princess because Boar Princess gives you that Omni dice when you destroy an artifact, and a character falling means you will also destroy the artifact. Since two characters are guaranteed to fall, you know, I think you're gonna get 2 procs out of it.
This is rough. Both players still have pretty solid chances here, but Inzagi is going to survive this onslaught. As long as they're able to find a way to get Nuva out. Honestly, either character out opposite Chongyun, they can just take him out.
Now it's because of Minty. All up to Minty.
Should absolutely just drop in the gravestone. They technically don't even need to because I know I've been focusing a lot on gravestone, but Chongyun actually just has enough damage. First off to freeze, you know, Cryo and Hydra, but also just to take out H-Daha in the first place. So really,
that's one great though.
Back down to 7, back down to 3, up to 4. Inzhagi has skill on ANA.
And if you committed to that by playing Wolf's Gravestone too, you would be left with very little dice, like 1 action maximum with Liar Song and Golden House. Which I guess would still work since you do have Chongyun's Frostfield up.
Yeah, I did talk about dice being a little difficult on Inzagi's side, but Minty's actually
I would never feel comfortable with freezing Agile. I always want to kill Agile.
You want to use that to make sure you can decaught your gravestone all the way. Ultimately, I think you can just use the house, and that's fine enough to work with it because it'll also turn over to Gilded Dreams later on.
If you don't kill, you're weak
you
to
need
talent,
to tune
and
at
you
least
might not have enough
the
dice to beat
or
everyone.
not Sayu, sorry, the Chongyun, you know, skill to come out. Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna be able to pull out Sack Sword here.
Here.
So if Minty wanted, they could actually play Sack Sword on Chongyun instead, just to give a bit of extra damage.
If you are not familiar with the sacrificial series inside the TCG, all it simply does is that when you use an elemental skill, you will generate 1 dice of your character type. So to basically, you know, it's more similar to the Forest Regalia or the Sumeru Crouchables, where you can gain, you know, extra dice. This one's permanent. You know, the Sumeru Crouchables only work once.
Yep, so
drawing
five, at
definitely
least.
can have value here.
You
And
drop
make
the
sure that
five.
you're not potentially wasting the
Okay,
Wolf's
countdown.
Gravestone.
Moon the
Ooh,
Troop.
Minty does find
He gets the
a
fast
quick
one,
swap. I
and
don't really
got
think they're
this.
in a
I
position
think it's
to
over.
beat it right now.
Yes,
Wait, is Minty
It's
winning?
gonna be
Hold.
There's no
relevant
way you
a little
win
more
this.
later when
Yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Neuvillette
100%.
does inevitably
Yeah,
freeze
I'll
them.
win.
But right now, I think definitely just go for the
Maybe.
Chongyun skill. Keep
I mean,
Ace-Taha,
Minty
you know,
can still
locked away
play
and force
free
Neuvillette to
Wolf's
be the only
Gravestone.
one to
It's
take
just
the field,
play
and that
everything.
way you can just start slamming
Onto
down
Sayu,
the
yeah.
Here,
Gravestone
Golden House,
instead.
back.
More gold
Or
for
that.
Yep,
Oh,
it will
wow.
see the section
Oh my
was
god,
equal
okay.
to Chongyun. So no Wolf's Gravestone yet.
It's
Inzaghi
Okay,
will breathe a
wait,
little bit,
hold.
but does not
GG.
know if this means that Minty
Oh my
doesn't
god.
have
Gambler's
Wolf's
boss.
Gravestone or if he's just holding on to it. Even gonna commit the Gamblers here.
Four
So
here.
that means that as the hunt
Okay, you don't have
does
to
go
board. You never
down,
die. You never die to anything.
Yeah,
So,
ultimately,
yeah.
having
Good,
that
good.
fast swap
Two,
changes up
three,
Minty's
four,
line because they were really
And Johnny
prepping,
says one of
them.
for, you know, not being able to move off of
There's nothing
Chongyun
else
Oh
to
my
do.
goodness.
Just
but possibly just
Ooh.
completely
If he has
sweeping
it, he
the
has
game
it.
here.
this
There's a
is
one of
where
them.
the
Yeah,
quick
they have it.
swap from Minty will come into play.
do you
Because
think the
Neuvillette
Lotus
now will
matters? I
freeze
don't think it
Chongyun.
comes
Inzaghi will
up, right?
specifically try not to
Does it
kill
come up?
No.
Chongyun
Maybe it
so
does
that
swap.
Minty has to slow swap. But he has a quick
I mean, he's
swap,
gonna skill
and
here
Sayu can
and then
freeze
come down.
Neuvillette with Chongyun's Frost
Oh
Field.
wait,
You can
No,
even
he
see,
can still
you
do
know, how you mentioned earlier, like, you know, the sacrificial Greatsword. Oh, that's not so
He's
bad.
gonna
And
skill
Inzaghi just did a
play.
little
Maybe
bit,
it
like,
does come up, actually.
You know, it could have been Gravestone.
Yeah,
It would have been
actually
sad. But, well, we all know it's still
Yep.
in there.
Can you?
Minty's just been waiting, and now this is the chance.
Okay,
I don't
Minty misclicked some
know if
skills.
Minty has
I'm giving.
enough dice.
wait, you just
to
win as
switch
Inzaghi with the
Gravestone
Lotus.
and attack
You actually
twice
just
to
win.
take out Neuvillette. I doubt Inzaghi would even let that happen. He'd switch to Cube first. So Neuvillette will still survive this round.
Wait, you just win in
Minty can
general.
actually
How do you
choose
lose?
maybe
How
not
does
to go
Minty
for
win this
Gravestone
one?
and just commit to double action for more damage.
Yeah, most
You're
definitely
right.
not.
How
The most
does
interesting
Minty
thing
win?
here is that they do have the
Well,
Liar
Sayu
Song. It's
does
stealing the
negative
gamblers
damage.
away from Chongyun because the Cryo Cube is going to fall to a swirl, a death by collateral, because they're
Whoa.
already on 1 HP.
Inzaghi heart rate gonna go over 160,
70.
159, 160.
Wait, Minty, wait. Minty does
161?
have the swirl, but I think they would much rather use
Unlucky, I should
that
have played
Hydro
Master
to
of Weapon
freeze
there.
Neuvillette.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
going to be much more
161?
value overall. And that means
It
that
peaked at
Inzaghi is going to be
161,
forced to
162?
end his
Oh,
turn.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fair. I was too used to seeing Chongyun already getting knocked
Like
out
countdown. He's just
thinking
super early, so I'm like,
You need
hey,
to-
this
you need to
Frost
end
Field.
on
So
you.
yeah, take Neuvillette to the freezer,
Oh my
give him
goodness.
some
GG.
cool off, and
It's
then
over.
take care of it next round.
Inzaghi
Minty
is
runs
going to
no
use his
sustain,
remaining
GG.
dice for countdown because there's literally
Arch,
nothing else he can
Lotus,
do with
and
them.
win.
And that means
Yeah,
that
you
he
need
is going
another
to
action
leave
here.
his fate to be determined
Yeah, he just
by
needs one
Minty
more
right
action
here.
to win.
Minty has enough
GG.
dice for one more action.
Go.
Liar Song not the same
Why
as
even
it
think?
used to be, so I don't think he's gonna get
He's
another
one dice
one.
short.
Look at his fucking heart rate.
Yeah, thankfully, Cryo Cube, you know, no more else.
Oh my god,
Communication is available.
162.
You'll be able to
Oh
live
my
another
goodness.
day.
He has a board
Oh, actually,
stack.
you
Could
do right
definitely
now,
come
okay.
into the end game, and Minty
Oh.
never gets to a point where Sayu can do another
Maybe Minty
swirl,
messed up
because that way you
somewhere.
have one more character.
There's no
and
Lotus.
try
You know,
Oh,
you
God.
know Minty has sustain. Just go. You can't lose.
So now
There's
it's
no
definitely
losing.
looking like Inzaghi is pushed
Wait,
into a
I
corner
actually
once
have no idea
again.
who's winning or
Okay,
who's
we will
losing.
all
Oh
see
my
it.
goodness.
Protagonist
Oh,
energy come
you
true for him once this series. Will it be able to happen once?
Dude, who's
more?
actually
Lotus
winning? I don't know.
guarantees
Inzaghi, the
that Neuvillette
protagonist.
will not go down this turn and is a very important card because
Does the
Inzaghi
second
won't be
leader
able to
can
switch to
matter?
Cryo
Chongyun's
Cube to
always
tank
dead.
damage once he
Yeah,
ends.
Chongyun always dies.
Because
you
I
can't stop
actually
the
don't know who's
Cube
winning.
cycle.
Ooh,
What are you
timer
even
is
thinking about?
ticking it down. Yeah,
Minty?
Golden Troop.
And the order,
have to
you got
be
the order
as
right.
efficient
Imagine if
as
there was
possible. There's no more
Fireburst
board
here to
princesses
keep
that
the
are going to
Chong
be
alive.
able to save you. At this moment, I think the players
Oh,
are almost
actually,
at a
he already
deck out
used
if
his
we
money.
see the cards on the left side of the screen. They're not as jumbled up, so I think they're about to run out soon.
for Minty.
Look at the heart rate on Inzaghi,
But
jumping
GG.
up slowly. You can tell that he is nervous, he is anxious. He knows
His heart
that he has
rate
left his
Oh
face
It's
my
so
God.
high.
in Minty's
How do you
hands.
survive?
And whether or not he survives to move on to the next round all determines
Good job,
how much
Minty. Good
damage
job,
Minty
Minty.
will
Good
do
series.
with the rest of this round.
Yeah,
absolutely.
a good series.
Yeah, Minty, you know,
Yeah.
very much locked in. It was really interesting.
Oh yeah,
to
I lost
observe
the
heart rates,
tournament
right? Because
round
earlier,
1. It's fine.
Minty was sitting at
Lost the
9,
bear.
now they've jumped up 10. So, you know, they too are
It
feeling
was
the
a
pressure.
close
Going
match.
to go for a boar princess.
very close
and
mirror
gonna
match.
try and
You
wish
could just
out the
get the
artifact
second
through this
one
means. I'm a
down.
little confused as to why, though. Oh, okay.
Burst. Going for the burst. Oh, okay.
Okay. So critical. Oh yes, and Chongyun does fall
He's like,
"No, I
to
get
the
the
summon
fast
because
swap.
Nuvolet is
So
standing on the
crazy.
opposite side of him.
A quick swap
Inside
could
would
have
just
been
get
handy for Inzhagi a
frozen.
little
Wow,
bit earlier, but
GG.
hey, better
Holy
late than
crap.
never. He still has 2 characters
This is why you
alive,
should run
so
Tanat
that
every
will
day.
still make a difference. We are
That
coming down
wouldn't
to the
have-
wire
No,
here,
don't
folks.
even
This
run
could be the
Tanat, don't
very
bother.
last
I'm sorry.
round to determine which
No,
of these
yeah, so
players
that's not
goes
worth it,
on
yeah.
into the next stage.
Absolutely. This is now the time to absolutely equip Gravestone.
you don't
One
need to think
Sayu
as a
normal attack
jockey.
will be
NA
able to
burst,
knock
NA.
out Nuvi.
Go,
Let
go,
Yeah,
go.
could
just-
Cryocube
just
push
go,
it out
just
from
go.
here? I don't think so. Inzagi, I think they need to fast swap into
Like, none of these cards
Cryocube and then
literally do
scale and
anything
then just
except
let
fast swap.
Nuvolet and
So,
let
like,
that freeze, and
just go.
hopefully they can take the game from there.
But doesn't Nuvolet just freeze right here?
Oh, that is
He's
true.
staying
Nuvolet
around
would
Tada.
freeze right here, so
Wow.
there's actually no need to
Jogging's
do
such a
all
good
those
show, man.
shenanigans. That is
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
every game.
Yeah,
Makes
Minty
every
has to end
series
their
go
turn.
to like
Inzagi,
this. Started in
he
the
has
losers
clinched it
bracket
out again.
to get maximum screen
Pushed
time.
against a wall.
Honestly,
he's just like
multiple
me.
times
Real.
the protagonist.
Full tune,
done it.
DM.
Oh no, going
Let's
for
go.
the extra, letting them know I have a fast swap first.
Holy
goes.
shit.
And you can truly see the relief awash on Inzagi's face. as he
My
knows he has
goodness.
been
Wow.
through the
That was a good
ringer.
series.
Minty
That was
has
actually a good
pushed
series.
him to his
Holy
utmost
shit.